All right, here we are live. Technical difficulties tonight of all nights. Not sure what's going on with the camera, but um, I don't know. It's not working. I got to use the computer camera now, which is crazy. But Dre was just here. What's going on, y'all? How's everybody doing on this Tuesday night? Lovely Tuesday evening. You guys forgive me as I try to figure out what's going on with this camera. I don't know. But how y'all doing? Drop a comment. Let me know who's here with me now. Dre's supposed to be pulling up. Dre was backstage and then I don't know, he disappeared. Good topic tonight, good show. Excuse the quality. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I need a new USB. Is there a tech guy in the building? Um, my camera is not connecting to my computer. Not sure what is going on. What's going on? Garden in the building. What's good, Garden? What's good? Always on here. Number one moderator. Appreciate your help. Appreciate your help on Sunday. For my birthday stream. Meant a lot. Thank you for all of you guys who popped up for that birthday stream. Birthday was yesterday. First birthday in Brazil. It was amazing. It was great. All right. I guess I'm going to have to do the show like this. But what's going on, y'all? Chop About TV here. Scorpio season ended. Sad about it. But whatever. You guys see the topic, but Kings and Dreams can no longer make it tonight. So it's going to be Dre whenever Dre pops in here. Before that, though, there is one topic that I wanted to address. And it has nothing to do with the title. So you guys know that I've lived in the Dominican Republic for about 3 years, right? Did the whole Puerto Plata thing, bounced out to Santiago. And we all know that the Dominican Republic has their thing with Haitians, the people of Haiti, Haitian culture, even as far as, skin color. Let's chalk it up to education. Let's chalk it up to ignorance. Let's chop it up to arrogance. But last week, right? Last week, Friday, I believe, the U.S. Embassy put out a warning to Americans about traveling to the Dominican Republic. And no, it wasn't your typical warning of, hey, let's be careful because of the crime, or hey, COVID, this and that, things from like a few years ago. No. I'm going to pull this up so we could all have a read along. It's going to be one of those read along moments where you're going to be like, no way, Chop About. No way this is real. But it's real. US Embassy.gov. All right. Dre's right here. What's going on, brother?
What's up, brother?
Man, I'm having some crazy problems with the camera, so I got to use the computer camera for now. I have no idea what's going on. But while you're talking during the show, I'm going to try to get this settled out. I'm going to try to get it squared away.
Okay, no problem.
I was just talking to the people about the alert that went out from the embassy last week. And some people tend to say, "Hey, Chopper Power, maybe you're being a little too extreme," or "Nah, say it ain't so." So I'm gonna share this. How do we share? It's been a Has it been that long that I forgot how to share a screen?
Has it
On
been that long, my friend? Has it?
Has it been that long?
You have
Jeez, I'm like, there we go. Share screen tab. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's read together now. Official website from the U.S. Embassy in the Dominican Republic alerts ongoing migration enforcement. Like I spoke about earlier, we know the Dominican Republic beyond their shit when it comes to Haiti, when it comes to Haitians. Let's call it for what it is. There's blatant racism in the Dominican Republic. Lived there 3 years, love my time there, but I cannot ignore the racism going on there. So, to sum up this message, right, the embassy is basically the nicest way possible are warning brothers that look like me and you, dark skinned, to be careful when going to the Dominican Republic. In recent days, as reported in Dominican media, migration, they're doing their thing where they're detaining those they believe, which is bullshit because they're detaining people with legal visas. I've spoken to them. In some cases, the authorities have not respected these individuals' legal status in the Dominican Republic or nationality. Yes, these actions have increased the interaction with Dominican authorities, especially for the darker skinned. Here we go, the darker skinned U.S. citizens and U.S. citizens of African descent. Kept in overcrowded detention centers without the ability to challenge their detention, without access to food, restroom facilities, and sometimes for days at a time. It's all peachy down there. It's all peachy. Now the embassy says carry your passport with you. Yes, let's carry the passport on you at all times in Santo Domingo and Puerto Plata, Santiago. That's lovely. Carry a charged cell phone if you need to notify the embassy. That's lovely. Before I go, Elvis says, I can explain the U.S. warning. They are mad at the Dominican Republic's president for the massive deportations, but USA does not offer help to the Haitians. USA wants the DR to continue accepting more Haitians. Okay. Dre, what on a scale of 1 to 10, what level of bullshit is that to you?
I always wait until it hits WhatsApp. I kid you not. We boots on the ground have more information on what's going on than the U.S. Embassy. If we follow the U.S. Embassy, most of us wouldn't be in Brazil. Most of us wouldn't be in Colombia. Most of us, come on, let's look at the U.S. Embassy website. Most of us would have never gone to most of the countries that we've gone to. And I'm talking about no matter what color you are, if we just follow the blueprint of the U.S. Embassy's website. They got half the world. They got us saying that half the world you ain't got no business going into. You just follow the U.S. Embassy website. They have you scared of everything because they need you taxpayers back home. But until it starts to hit either YouTube, and I hear like 2 or 3 YouTubers saying, "Listen, I got detained. This what happened." Once I start hearing it on the WhatsApp groups, like guys say, about 10 of us went down for the celebration, and here's what happened. So when it comes to those things, I'm not I'm not 100% sure of the U.S. Embassy. I kind of like listen to them with a grain of salt because of how they've not told us the full story in the past. How we know to trust them now? Now that doesn't mean that I'm downplaying what the U.S. Embassy is saying as well. If it were me, I'd just start doing my research, start reaching out to some guys that live there, some guys that visit there lately. Over the last few weeks, the last few months, I reach out to some guys who's been in the DR. I start hitting the WhatsApp groups. I start hitting the YouTube content creators and hitting their comment sections. A lot of YouTubers will respond to their comment sections if you hit them up. Hey, I heard this is going on in the DR. Can you verify? And it doesn't necessarily have to just be the party type of YouTube content creators. It could be anybody that from real estate to to somebody that does Spanish speaking in Dominican Republic. Uh, just reach out to any YouTuber, hit them up in their comment section, and find out what is actually going on, boots on the ground. Because if we don't hear anything, we don't know the facts. And so that's how I would look at it. I would take it with almost a 50-50 grain of salt.
Okay. So speaking from experience, um, this might be the one time, and I've done what you said. This might be the one time where I would agree with an embassy report. So I'm gonna share this video clip right here. Recently, this was taken last week out there in the Dominican Republic. Let's see, share screen. Right here, where the migration police are basically stopping you by your skin color. And if you don't have, say, your scheduler on you at the time, whatever, or even if you do have it, they'll throw you in there, and this is what they'll do. So I've reached out to boots on the ground, my Haitian friends who live in Puerto Plata and Santiago, respectively. And from my time there till now in Brazil, none of them have spoken a word like, man, things aren't the greatest, but they haven't complained about leaving. Now, both of them are up to the point, legal residents, they have their visas living there. Both of them are up to the point like, listen, things are getting nasty and disgusting up to the point where it don't matter if you have a business, it don't matter if you're married to a Dominican, it don't matter if you have your visa, they are coming for all. I've been keeping tabs in the Dominican Expat group, both of them on Facebook. Two people have spoken up about the alert from the embassy, about the harassment from the cops, and one person had to pay a cop 3,000 pesos and so on. And now it's recommended that you go on with your passport. My thing is, I know the Dominican Republic and Haiti have the issues. We all know that. Look up your history. And to get back on topic of the point is, I just want to say, come on, DR, cut this shit out with the racism. Cut up to the point where even dark-skinned Americans have to go through this shit because they look Haitian. Cut the shit. We know how you feel about that country on the other side of the island. Fine. But if you have people following the rules, you have people there legally. Now you're basically shooting yourself in the foot of the one thing that keeps that island afloat with tourism. Cut the shit. It's just cut it out. Like, what's really going on, DR? Because they're overshadowing the great people that I've met there, and the people who are in positions of power or the masses are the fools. Yeah, Jay, I've seen it and I've never spoken on it, but the fact now that they're just targeting based on skin color, doesn't matter where your passport is from, it's an issue. It's definitely an issue. And there's plenty of stories I personally haven't shared that's happened to me while living in DR, to not piss on the flames of those who want to go out there and experience and enjoy and move and live. So I just keep things to myself. But it happens. Go ahead, bro.
Even when Andrew and I were there, I mean, you could even if you don't personally experience the racism yourself, you do notice that it's prevalent in the country. So you just sense the energy that's there. However, I got a couple of things came to mind. One of the things that we have to come to a reality of as men with passports, we got the passports not just to go to one or two countries. So if one country, as we well know, not all countries like black people, not all countries like American people, no matter what color you are. We have the reason why we consider the passport bros or the passport gentlemen or men or nomads, because we have the ability to do something that many that still live there and deal with that on a day-to-day basis really don't have the opportunity to do. And that's never go back to these locations. I could care less. I kid you not. I could care less about the racism that takes on in Greece because I don't live in Greece. And if the racism was out of hand when I got there, I'd leave Greece. Same thing for Argentina if it was like that. Same thing for the United States if it's like that. My point is, with a passport, we are allowed to make moves that others can. So when you say you reach out to your Haitian friends, I got you, because you can check it from that perspective. When you talk about other guys in other WhatsApp groups, I got you. So now you verify what I was talking about earlier. So now some boots on the ground has verified it. So I'm with you in regards to that. So now that we verified it, what do? We got two choices. We can sit back, complain, kick it like in the Bible says, it says like the bull that kicked against the prick. The prick is like when you got a bull and you got two bulls and they're plowing, and one bull just want to stop and he doesn't want to move anymore, and so he starts kicking. There's a needle where that hits right in the back so he doesn't destroy the plow or anything, and as soon as he kicks back he hits that needle, and so he realizes, okay, let me keep on walking. In other words, I can't kick against what's actually about to take place. That's what Jesus was saying. You can't kick against the prick in some situations. So when it comes to this, as outsiders, we are outsiders in these countries that we visit, no matter how much, unless you're somebody that's like me working on your citizenship. As outsiders, we have the option of going to these other countries other than the same countries, even though we might have a gripe against what's currently taking place. So for you guys that are like, it's kind of crazy you would say this. I'm getting text messages from guys that I know that frequent DR. Dre, I need to talk to you about a consultation for Colombia. I've gotten at least 5 consultations in the last week from DR dudes. So when it comes to Dominican Republic, realize, guys, we do have the solution for us is that we have a passport. I'm not going to a country that tells me, well, if you don't have your passport, you got to pay me. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll never come to your country again. You don't hurt me. It's going to hurt your economy more than it hurts mine. So if it were me personally, I'd be done with DR. I kid you not. I wouldn't waste my time going to a country that, like we always say about the United States, and what's one of our mottos as Passport Brothers? Go somewhere where you appreciate it, not where you tolerate it. If we're
Mm-hmm.
going to go to other countries that mislead us and do us wrong, like the United States, we might as well keep our butt in the States, because we could be misled and not and misrepresented and misused in our own country, and we ain't got to be flying to another country like DR for all that to take place. So when I say this, it's sad that it's taking place for the Haitian brothers and sisters that are there, but that's not going to change whether we visit or we don't. Our job as brothers to be there for the Haitian brothers and sisters when they need us and provide for them as much as we can through by way of donations, by way of volunteer work, things like that. But as far as trying to see this feud between Haiti and uh, uh, and Haiti and DR come to an end while we're going over there visiting, it's not. And all that's happening is we're caught in the middle of a fight that we had nothing to do with. And that's the reason why I say if it were me, I wouldn't go back. And I'm not saying run to Colombia. I say go to any country. Uh, that's why I say I wouldn't go back to DR if it were me, because you're caught up in the middle of a fight that you had nothing to do with. It had nothing to do with your dollars. You had nothing to do with the history of it. And you just walk into the middle of somebody doing double dutch and you just standing there. And don't get mad if you get hit upside the head with the rope.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought up the point of you getting a number of consultations from the Dominican Republic to Colombia. And basically, like you said, we're never going to change what's going on between DR and Haiti, sadly. But that doesn't mean that you have to get hit in the crossfire. That doesn't mean you have to
True.
stand there and catch the bullets of one's country way of ignorantly going about immigration.
Mm-hmm.
That they're hiding under it's racism hiding under the guise of immigration. But and that ties into our topic because that's a red flag people can ignore. People will continue, especially the passport bros, will continue to go to the Dominican Republic for one thing, for the booty, Drake. Come on, man, for the pesos and the presidentes and the booties, man. So what? I could just carry my passport on it. All right, that's a classic example of um, being tolerated instead of
True.
celebrating. But let's start off the show correctly, get on topic. I'm gonna get to these comments in a little bit. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I got my brother Dre from Colombia. I know it's been a minute since we've seen this face on the channel. What's going on, Dre? How's everything going out there?
Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. I can't complain, man. Excuse me. Having a good time, getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving with Andre, even though it's not official here in Colombia. Andre and I still make a good dinner and
Nice.
enjoy some time together on Thanksgiving. So shout out to all out there for Thanksgiving week. We enjoy Black Friday down here just like the rest of the world does. And so we're looking forward to that. And we got a few trips coming up. We're excited about 2023. We're going to be heading to Europe for 3 to 4 months. So we really, really are excited about this.
Nice. You're gonna be heading to Portugal, correct?
Yeah, we're going to go ahead to Portugal. Then we're going to jump on as many trains as we can, heading to as many places as we can get to.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I bet you the Christmas decorations are already up in Cali.
Oh man, they've been up since September, man. Colombia started celebrating Christmas early. Starting on December 6th, man, it's candlelight day across the country. It's crazy how you can get a whole country to come together and everybody are lighting candles in front of their houses, lighting candles downtown, lighting candles in the streets. I mean, candles are being lit everywhere throughout the country, small cities, large cities, everywhere. So the candy lighting festival that night is amazing to see that much the city really lit up
Yeah, I
for the
know
country.
Cali doesn't play, especially when it comes to Christmas. I don't know what's the name of that area where they like put up those gigantic blue lights and you just walk through. Is by a castle.
Oh, downtown. Yeah, well, we were downtown. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yo, they
downtown.
do
I remember
not
your first
play.
time was down here. Your first time down here was during that time period.
Yeah, they have the big statues, the toy statues.
Yeah,
They do
yeah,
not.
man. They do go all out for Christmas.
They do not
The
play.
Christmas, yeah, the Christmas celebration is downtown.
I think everybody at least once in their life needs to do a Christmas in Cali.
Yeah, it's nice. Don't come here. We don't want none of y'all coming here. Go to Sasua. Long live Sasua. We love you, Sasua. We love you.
All right. So let's
Shout
do
out to Flip
Christmas in
Flop.
Cali through YouTube. How about that? We'll do Christmas in Cali through YouTube.
Yeah, they could do it through a live stream. I'll walk around with camera. Don't come here. Don't come here. Don't. No, no.
Yeah.
Come when we leave.
So as I've mentioned on the channel and just on Sunday, Dre does consultations for anybody looking to go to Colombia, visit, starting their YouTube channel. So do you offer consultations for all of Colombia or just Cali
All
specifically?
over.
All over.
All over because we've been all over. We have family all over. I've traveled to the largest to the smallest cities several times over. So it's not like I haven't been to those locations, whether it be as an expat or as a person that's actually just visiting these locations. So I'm very thorough. That's another thing I'm thorough. I always think about as if it were me just coming to Colombia for the second or third time. And so that's what we center our consultations around. We share everything from what apps you need. A lot of times people do consultation. They don't even realize what apps they can have. I'll give you a perfect example. There's an app down here called Rappi, Rappi
Mm-hmm.
here in Colombia. It's the delivery app. You can get food delivered. You get stuff delivered from the grocery store to your Airbnb or hotel room. But what a lot of guys don't know that Rappi also delivers cash. Yes, money. Let's say you about to go out, hang out with the fellas, or you about to go on a date, and you like, man, I'm just getting here to Colombia. I don't know what an ATM is, or I don't know what the money exchange is. All you got to do is use your phone, the Rappi app, boom, boom, boom. They actually give you about up to 400,000 pesos, which is like $100, which is quite a bit for Colombia. And you get 200,000 pesos, 50,000 pesos, bam. While you in the shower, Ding dong, you got the dude on the motorcycle delivering your 300,000 pesos to your front door. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
guys don't know that. So these are some of the things that we let guys know about during the consultations. One brother told me, he said, Dre, I'm so happy you told me about that Rappi app. I did. He said, man, I'm ordering money all the time. He said, I never went to the ATM.
That's not the only thing you get, Joe. You can get clothes off Rappi,
Yeah.
food, stuff for your pet,
Man, you would get car
pharmacy,
insurance off Rappi.
pharmacy. Y'all need to
That's
get this
it. That's the app. Yep.
get this Rappi app, man. I'm telling you could get with your girl one night, order a Plan B pill the next morning, Rappi God deliver.
All of it. All of it. All your liquors you can order off Rappi. You don't never have to go to the store. Uh so those are the type of things. That's just one example, one of the apps that I always recommend for people when they come to Colombia.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Kings and Dreams. He couldn't be here tonight.
Shout
Has
out to
to
Jay.
take care of him, but shout out to you, brother, for tuning in. So with what I want to get to about Dre's consultations and the point of this video, with all this information readily available to you on the internet, on YouTube, through live people, it's very, very hard for you to keep traveling, keep going to these countries, and you're still fucking up, right?
Yeah.
You can't have a consultation with Love Crossing Borders, and then 2 weeks later you're gonna be like, damn, I got scopamine in Medellin. Impossible.
Yeah.
Really impossible. And what's been going on down there in Medellin actually?
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Christmas.
Mm.
Christmas season is here. Remember, I mentioned that we actually, and it's not a joke. Colombians seriously start celebrating Christmas and getting gifts together and putting up trees and everything. September 1st, Christmas music is playing. The decorations in the malls are going. This is not a joke. And so these women know, and these men that are behind the scenes of the women know, tourists are coming down. We need this Christmas money. We have mouths to feed. We have gifts to purchase, and we're going to get it by scamming these foreigners that come to the country. We mentioned this in July, in May, and a lot of guys take it for granted. And I love how you just worded, Chop. I think I'm going to do a video on this. You worded by way, you said that, and just to paraphrase just a second ago, you said that you have to work to get got in Colombia now. If you ignore all what you've done and you've been there several times and you still get got in Colombia, you worked on getting got. It wasn't just by mistake. It was a happenstance. So right now, these people know that you guys are overlooking the red flags and the white flags, which we're going to discuss, and that this is that time of the year. It is Christmas time in Colombia is the most dangerous time in a lot of cities. Not all cities, not most cities, but in Medellin, it is the most dangerous time. And so many people are coming up expired over the last few months because of this. A lot of people have lost their lives in Medellin due to the fact, and I'm not just talking about drugging, I'm talking about by way of robberies and things like that, due to the fact that guys let their guards down, and this what occurs. So during the Christmas season, that's why it's heightened.
Yeah, I read this article. I don't know. I think it was like the last thing to like sneak its way onto the internet. It was the guy from Vietnam or
Yeah, yeah, it was
Korea.
Vietnam.
That guy, and that turned into like a really huge thing. If you guys don't know, well, I'm gonna let Dre explain to you so it makes more sense. Dre's boots on the ground.
This guy, Asian brother from Vietnam, who had been a world traveler, a lot of friends. He None of his photos were photos of just that you got on YouTube. I mean, on YouTube, they showcase a lot of his photos that were by himself because you just wanted to see him to try to find out who did this. But if you went to his Instagram or his Facebook page, always had photos with friends. He was a world traveler. He graduated, very, very educated, and just a guy that's out here doing it like the rest of us guys, just living his life. But went to Medellin first time through and treated Medellin. You can't treat Medellin like you treat all of Colombia. I'm going to repeat that. You cannot treat Medellin the way you treat the rest of Colombia. And that's why I always say I'm getting a t-shirt made called Medellin is not Colombia. And Colombia is not
Mhm.
Medellin. And so what ended up happening about a week and a half ago, he come up missing for a few. He went on a date with a young lady, came up missing, and next thing you know, a few hours later, he's expired. And now the story has gone international. There's a manhunt for the girl. There is a reward out for her. I saw he's from California. I actually saw the California news do a special on him, and I watched the interview of his sister and his family in regards to what type of person he was and things like that. So this is getting a lot of traction, and they actually have the FBI and the US on top of this right now, as well as they've gotten a lot of they actually have the mayor of Medellin on top of this as well. So it's not one of those things that's going to die away. Now I can hear a lot of you brothers and sisters right now. Well, if why didn't they do that when there was a black dude? What about all those other brothers that died and it happened? I don't care when or how they catch these people. I don't care what race they have to use to catch these people, as long as these people get caught. So I would rather if they had have to use an Asian dude to be the poster boy to get these people off the streets, so a brother doesn't come behind and get got by these people. I don't give a dang about who's got to be the poster child for it. So all of you that's about to cry in the comment sections, they didn't do that for the brothers. I don't give a dang about who they did it for, as long as the next brother don't get got. So let the Asian brother be the poster boy for them capturing these people. I don't care. All we should care about is that the next brother does not, or the next white boy, or the next Asian dude does not get scammed and get drugged and get expired by these people.
Okay, so it was a Tinder date, correct?
Yeah, it was a
I think
Tinder date.
he
Guys,
met,
stay
he met
off
a
Tinder, please.
yeah. So let's start the list, and I want everybody watching right now, if you're live, to take notes if you plan on traveling, because this information could be used worldwide. What is number one for you on the most common red flags that people ignore when traveling?
When it comes to Colombia, going to Medellin, that's number one. Number one red flag right now in 2022, 2023. I know you got a lot of dudes that love Medellin. I know it's got the fame. I know it's got the YouTube, the Netflix movie. But I'm letting you guys know straight up, the biggest mistake that you're making if you want to visit Colombia is that you are landing and you're staying in Medellin. You are wasting your time. There are too many other cities to have a great time and meet some great people, and you do not have to be expired because of it. I know you guys like DC Rob. Shout out to DC Rob. He always says this. No matter how many videos I come out with, I know you guys are going to keep going to Medellin. I understand. I feel the same way he does. But at the end of the day, the first red flag, the first mistake you're making when you're coming to Colombia, if you're booking your ticket to Medellin, that's the first red flag that's been waving in your face that you're ignoring. The first one. There's no excuse for coming to Colombia for beautiful women. And the first place you go to is the most dangerous place that you go to, which is Medellin.
Okay. So we have one shout out to Elvis. He disagrees. So one naysayer so far, he says, Andre, I have to disagree with you. The scopamine problem in Medellin, Bogota, and Cartagena is 365 days of the year, not just Christmas. Do a better research.
Okay. I like how you put that. 365 days a year. We're talking about when it's at its apex. We're not talking about this guy got drugged here and that guy got drugged there, and maybe a few weeks later. I'm talking about day after day after day after day. During this time period between September, December, this is the apex. See, all the rest of those days when dudes get drugged in April, and that's just sporadic. I'm talking about this Christmas season. This is the apex. This is when these people hunting for you. Before they were hoping to catch you. Now it's hunting season. Remember Elmer J. Fudd said it was rabbit season with Bugs Bunny? It's rabbit season, and you the rabbit. So Elvis, you dudes like you that don't want to listen, I like dudes like you. because you the dudes that will first thing you gonna do, you gonna get on your computer and say, I'm going to Medellin. Red flag, bust you upside the forehead. And you still gonna wipe it off and still do what you gonna do because you not boots on the ground. You visit where I live. My boots are imprinted here. Your
Bars.
boots wash away. So when I sit back and I say, not because of the whole year, you're absolutely correct. I agree with you. But it comes to a peak or a point during this time period between September and December because these people are now preying on you because they have things to they got to buy a Christmas gift for their grandmama, their mama. They got to get medication for the family. The kids want Christmas gifts. They ain't got no money. There is a recession that and inflation that's going on on a record level in Colombia. The US dollar is now 5,000 pesos to one. It's never been like this. And it's between now it's September and December during one of the worst inflations that Colombia has had in the last few years.
Mm.
And so all that you were worried about in April and all those drugs that took place in May don't mean nothing compared to what's about to take place over the next month or two. And that's why you're seeing so many bodies back to back to back to back to back to back.
They're back. They're back. It's a yearly rush, but thank you for clearing that up, Jay, because I didn't tie it together that the holidays will actually tie into more desperate attempts. Because, well, when you hear about, okay, a laptop, you drug somebody, a laptop go missing, a phone, but a passport too, shoes, clothes, like these are hungry people, guys. So now, and I'm glad Dre came on this tonight because now you have somebody who's living in Colombia telling you, listen, just put the yellow do not cross tape on Medellin.
Yeah. There's so much more to see in this country. That's the part when I say it, and guys that love Medellin, and they don't love Medellin. Most of you guys, I'm gonna tell you something for real. You could get less than a dang about Medellin. You love Medellin women. Let's get that out of the way. You could care less about Medellin. You care less about the infrastructure, the mayor, political structure, the kids, the old people. You don't care nothing about Medellin. All you care is about Medellin women. I got you. I understand. Most of you guys, maybe not all you guys, but most of you, that's how you feel. Cool. You do realize that the Medellin women don't look as good as a lot of women in the other parts of the country. You do realize that yet, right? Medellin women ain't built like women in other countries. They ain't got the faces like women in other countries. Medellin women quite often got to get surgery for their noses or surgery for this and surgery for that. You do realize that in Medellin you got more facial surgeries than anything else, right? Oh, you didn't know that? Well, I'm letting you know that now. My point in saying this, guys, is why would you just ask yourself, why am I going to the most dangerous place in a country when I have the whole other part of the country you could go to? I don't go to the most dangerous areas in Bogota. I don't go to the most dangerous areas in Cali. When I go to Cartagena, I don't hang out in the most dangerous areas. And I have just as much fun, and my wife and you guys that come and hang out with me have just as much fun as any place. Why are we able to do this? Because we realize that there's more to Colombia than Medellin. Medellin, as you just put it, should just have caution tape all around it, man. I'll say, why y'all wasting y'all time in Medellin? And I'm talking to my white brothers. I'm talking to the Asian brothers. I'm talking to Latin brothers. Why the hell are y'all still going to Medellin? I do not get that one. Because I could see if Medellin had the finest women. Like I said, you guys are going for the women. Medellin ain't even got the finest women in Colombia. They ain't got the darkest women, since y'all like the sisters. They ain't got the finest women. No, they don't. I could name a few cities that got women better than Santa Marta got better than women in Medellin. The coffee region, Manizales, Pareda, Armenia. If you ever see some of them country girls, you will never think about Medellin. You telling me those chocolate Brazilian, those golden tan chicks that's Venezuelan and that's up in Cartagena, they can't compete with Medellin? You crazy. Medellin can't compete with women in Cartagena, and you know better than talk about Cali. You can shut that one down. Medellin women ain't got no shape, ain't got no build. Come on, Chop. Medellin can't touch Cali curves.
They
So
don't
y'all,
know.
so the only reason, if y'all going to Colombia for the ladies, why are you going to the place that ain't even got the finest women? Tell me that one. Answer that one for me.
Damn. So you mean to tell me I'm going to go to Medellin to get drugged by a woman who's a 4 or 5 at best
Chop
in
chop
Colombia?
chop. Have you ever seen any of the videos on Facebook or showed up on YouTube or any type of format that guys post on WhatsApp of the video of these women that get that of the dudes that get of the women that get these dudes? These women be 4s and 3s. These women be maybe a 6. It is rare that we see on the video or we see a picture that somebody posts like in a WhatsApp group. Hey, this girl was the one that got this guy. Look out for her. It's rarely a hot chick. It's usually some unattractive chick in Medellin that got you dudes. So you was willing to pay for an ugly chick compared to all the other women in Medellin. You was paying for an ugly chick, A. B, usually her body ain't all that. B. C, she giggly and she just a little girl. And you know she was a little girl in regards to her behavior pattern. She could be 27. D, and you let her get you. You woke up an hour and a half to 3 days later, and you let somebody that wasn't even a 10, 11, or a 12 get you. And so I'm never impressed when I see these dudes. That's one of the reasons why I laugh. I'm like, how you gonna let yourself get got by a 6 in Colombia? And they always do, man. Every time I see the photos, it's never an attractive woman. It's always somebody you like. You let her get you?
Man, that's the perfect case of throwing your fishing pole in the bottom feeder well. And don't let the I know what could probably attract you guys. Like you go to Medellin, like they're lighter, you think their hair is a little bit longer, and they talk with a different accent compared to other parts of the country. The paisas, I see, we the paisas, this and that. Listen, people are dropping like flies, and on top of people dropping like flies, you got folks ignoring that, like, yeah, it's not gonna happen to me. Veterans are getting got. Veterans who've been going for 6, 10 years are getting got in Medellin now. It's I think it's basically a pandemic.
Yeah, I look at it like that. I mean, I haven't been to Medellin in like 3 years. 3 years. There's nothing about Medellin. Once you get out of Medellin, you start to and you discover the rest of Colombia. There's nothing about Medellin that makes you want to feel like you miss anything. There's nothing, I kid you not, there's nothing that I miss about Medellin. And I'm not putting Medellin down. I want you guys to realize this. I'm not judging Medellin. I think it's a beautiful city. It's got some up and coming things. Medellin has in all of South America, the top 12 hospitals, 7 of them are in Medellin. Medellin has a fashion week like New York has a fashion week. Medellin has the fashion week of South America, not Brazil, Medellin. So Medellin does some amazing things as a city. It's an amazing city. But you guys don't care about Medellin as a city. You come down to party and have your fun. So I'm talking directly to guys that, for the most part, think it as a fun boy. I'm not trying to sit up here and try to sell you Medellin as a politician, but I'm talking to you guys like how we normally do. You watch the YouTube channel, you talk to a couple of your boys, and you say, hey, I'm going to go down to Medellin next time you guys go. That's basically what many of us have done. No problem with that. You came down as a fun boy. Don't act like when it comes to being a fun boy that you have to ignore red flags. The first red flag that we're talking about tonight is that you booked a ticket to Medellin. That's the first red flag. You can ignore if you want to, like most red flags are, but you've got to acknowledge that red flag is there.
Yeah. Kwame, good evening, brother. Thank you for the birthday super chat. If you guys didn't know, yesterday was my birthday. Shout out to all you
Happy
guys.
Birthday.
Thank you. Shout out to all you guys who showed love in various ways, messages. I appreciate you guys.
Is that
Congrats
the big 3-0? Wait a minute, pause. That's the big 3-0?
Yeah,
pause.
It's
You ain't gonna let that slide back. That was the big 3-0 came through.
3 finally came.
Me and Ace were talking about you today. That's the funny part. We were talking about you. He's like, "Oh, you Haitian too?" I was like, "Yeah, blah blah blah," because he was looking at your channel, and we were talking about because when you were texting me, me and Ace were talking too, and I said, "Yeah, Chop doing it young man." I say he's 29. I said, "I think he's 30 now," and it's so funny that your birthday was yesterday. So welcome to the past 30 club. You a grown ass man now, boy. You a grown
Thank you.
man
Hey,
now.
I think I could still take the title wherever I go of the youngest expat.
Yes, you
So
can, man. I ain't mad at you, brother.
it's about
You and
some.
brothers like Austin, I ain't mad at you. You did it before Austin, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys are welcome to move and try your luck. You know, plenty of remote jobs. Dre got the list, but you guys hit him
Mm-hmm.
up for all the remote jobs that you could work in South America, Latin America, almost anywhere in the world. Complete list. Jabraz says I just went to Cartagena, kept it low key, did the tourist thing, had a ball.
Had a ball.
Definitely, definitely, man. Cartagena's. I haven't been to Cartagena, but I always say Cartagena's a good time.
Been there several times, and I did it just like the brother, and I had a ball. Even when I was single, and even as a married man, and had a ball each time.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't fall into the thirst trap, and I had a great time, man.
So, Jay, I'm gonna add something to your list of number one of Medellin being your red flag. I'm gonna add DR if you're going to the tourist
Mm.
areas. I'm gonna add Dominican Republic if you're going to the tourist areas. If you're going to live, you're gonna have to ask yourself, okay, how short is my leash? Depending on your skin color. If you could get away with it, if you're on the lighter side, I say go for it. But just know if you're dark skinned in the Dominican Republic, especially now that's going on, all the Haitians, be prepared to come across some problems. Don't ignore that flag, like how you guys go to Medellin and you're like, yeah, for the women, because we all know we're going to DR for the women. We're not going for the internet. Internet is bullshit. There's people drink Corona. Shout out to Mario. He drinks Coronas more than Presidente. He's been living there 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So let's be honest with ourselves what we're going for and ask yourself if it's worth it, right? Not just for our Haitian brothers and sisters, but for yourself. Do you really want to go through that? Do you really want to carry your passport around with you to the beach, to the supermarket, in and outside your Airbnb? Do you really want to go through paying 3,000, 4,000 pesos because you're dark skinned? Hell, I don't. You guys think it's a joke? I've been there 3 years. It's not a joke up to the point where my ex girlfriend's family, her mom's side of family was racist towards me, towards the gringo who would show up on Christmas with a Jeep full of alcohol and gifts for the family. But then once shit goes south, I'm the basura haitiano, I'm the criollo, I'm all of this shit. I'm no longer Freed or Fred or Gringo. Now it's Haitiano or this and that. Tell you shit ain't sweet out there, especially in these countries and situations where people only think about today and not their tomorrow. So they don't care if you give them 1,000 yesterday. They don't care if you're gonna give them 1,000 tomorrow. It's all about today. And tiny peanut brain mindsets like that, you really gotta be careful going forward. Just for your peace of mind, because that doesn't bring a peace of mind to anybody going somewhere and staying somewhere that you're not, like Dre said earlier, that you're not being celebrated.
Right.
So what are some white flags now, and we could exchange, what are some white flags, the good flags, because we have good and bad. What are some white flags that people tend to ignore when they're traveling or living in other countries?
Well, the white flags can be just as bad as as the uh, uh, the red flags. White flags have always been symbolic of I give up. I'm not going to try anymore. When there's a war and back in the day, and somebody take the white flag and then, hey, listen, we give up. We salute. We give up. We do no more resistance. You won the war. You won the battle. We give up. Right. Same thing with white flags when it comes to dealing with women in other countries. A white flag is when somebody has no plans on taking you serious or continuing to take you serious. In other words, we do this a lot as men in the States. We know the relationship was over 3 years ago, but we'll hang around in a relationship for 3 more years. Men, we famous for hanging in a relationship that we ain't got no business being in. So it is when it comes to once we leave to another country, we do the same thing. A female can show you all day long she has no true interest in you. She's showing you that she's down for the money. The white flag of I'm not serious about you. I'm not putting up any effort. I'm not putting up any strength is right there. And we ignore those white flags. So if you have a woman in your life and you know that she's already shown you the signs of that she will not ever take you serious or she no longer takes you serious, that's a white flag and you should step away from that person, especially if you're a traveler or an expat. For example, if you find yourself being a Western Union poppy, those are white flags. That person doesn't take you serious. If you find another example, if you find yourself that person is kind of like, and I understand in Colombia, people are flaky, men and women, when it comes to time. But if you're always being flaked by that woman, always being 1 minute she says this, but the next minute she doesn't show up at all ever, and it's constant, that's a white flag. She's not going to put in any effort. She's given up on trying to be serious with you. Don't ignore the white flags, just like you shouldn't ignore the red flags. The red flags are dangerous, but the white flags keep you in danger. You keep hanging around in the situation that you should have walked away from a long time ago. That's what some of the white flags are.
Perfect. So what brought about this topic? I shared a quote with Dre a few weeks ago, and it said basically that a good woman that's never had a good man won't know how to treat one when they find it. And Dre told me he disagreed because you guys basically can't pick the good ones. And the good ones could. Great, Dre, do you agree that the good ones could wave white flags also that men would tend to ignore?
Yes, all women can.
Okay.
All
So,
women can say, I'm not, you're not worth the fight. You're not worth the effort. Whether she's a good woman or she's a bad woman, all women can tell you, I'm waving the white flag. You're not worth my effort. You're not worth it.
mm,
That's one of the signs of her being a good woman because she could tell who's worth her effort and who isn't worth her effort. And sometimes we think because in our mind, I'm a good man, she's a good woman, we should be compatible. Well, the universe doesn't necessarily mean that every good man and every good woman will always be compatible. For example, Chapel Pie, you might, I give a perfect example. My uncle Jeffrey. And I are both 6'2", 6'3". I personally, Andrea is the shortest woman that I've dated in years. Andrea is 5'5", the average height of a Colombian woman. I'm usually dating 5'8", 5'9", 6-footers. Always. Guys know that's part of my ego. I like tall women. So I've always been so, but Jeff is the exact opposite of his, in other words, being a good man, compatible with a good woman. He's tall, but he's like his women 5'5" and under. What's my point? Just because a 5'5" woman and under walks up on me and she's a good woman, she might not be compatible with me. So I'm waving the white flag. I'm not gonna put any effort into you, girl. I might smash, but I ain't gonna put no effort into you. She waving the white flag. I might smash you, tall brother, but I might not put no effort into you because I don't like brothers that tall. So just because you're two good people, that doesn't necessarily mean the white flag won't come up. Sometimes the white flag shows up and lets you both know that you don't belong together. The sad part is we'll still try to stick it out and still try to make it work because she's so fine. I know we don't mess with nobody this short, but and so at the end of the day, it doesn't work out because she already showed you the white flag. I'm not interested in you like that, or you showed her the white flag. Excuse me, I'm not interested in you like that.
right. And the white flag means, so I just saw somebody ask, white flag means basically you're giving up, you're not taking it serious, you're not
You're not
pushing
taking
it
it serious.
forward.
Mm-hmm.
And people, I want to say men and women, don't only ignore red flags, they ignore the white ones. They ignore that, listen, I'm not going to take you serious. And then sometimes we push down on the gas pedal a little bit harder. Like, nah, let me fight. Or nah, you just want me to fight. You just want me to push a little harder. I could do that. So we blow past those white flags. What are some examples of, I guess, in these other countries where guys can ignore flags from a good person? You know, it could be a good woman, because good, like you said, good women have red flags too. So, what are some examples of those red flags that women may carry in these other countries, whether it be Colombia or DR, Brazil, Thailand?
Now, are you saying the red flags or the white flags in these countries?
So I think you said before, good women can have red flags and white flags. So if I'm a guy, right, and I'm on YouTube and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move to Colombia in 6 months, and I'm going there with the thought of starting a family. I've done my consultations. I've watched Chalapa. I've watched Love Chris Wars. I've watched Jorge. What are some? And I meet this good woman. She works, has a bank account, her family is set, this and that, but she could still have flags. What are some examples of flags? Or what are things to look out for? Because I think people get it just like, yeah, just because she's a good woman, don't mean that she won't do no fuck shit or anything grimy.
It doesn't take anything grimy to be a good woman that has red flags. She's a good woman and she's got 3 kids. Are you ready to take care of those 3 kids? If not, that's a red flag. She's a good woman. She's got a great career, but the way her schedule is set up, she doesn't have time for you like maybe another woman would. That's a red flag. If you're trying to make it work with her, she's a good woman. She's attractive. She may not even have any kids, but her schedule does not allow her to give you that quality time that you have come to DR or to Colombia or Thailand and you desire. That's a red flag. It could be somewhat of a white flag, but it's her schedule, not because of her not being interested in you. That's a red flag. Another red flag is when it comes to family. We all know that when it comes to the family dynamic, their families play a lot in their decisions. She might be a really, really good woman, but because she's being swayed a little bit by what her family has to say about you, whether it be because of race or because you're from another country or they're trying to keep Dominican with Dominican, whatever it may be, that could be a red flag that you may not even want to deal with that, even though she's a good woman and she's not personally bringing that your way. So a woman can be good, but also she still can present red flags to the table. Like I started off with a woman that has children. I'm not into women that have children. So I purposely only dealt with women here in Colombia that didn't have a child. So it's not coincidental that I married somebody that didn't have a child. In other words, a good woman that didn't have that particular red flag.
Mm. That's I'm glad you mentioned that, and you brought up kids, because a lot of people, they move to these countries and they think, oh, I could treat it like the States, where yeah, the mom could put the kid on this shelf and then I get my own separate shelf over here. No, you're dating in these countries more than 50% of the time. If you adopt a girl and she already doesn't have her own thing going on, guess what? You're adopting her family also.
Mm-hmm.
You're adopting the
Mm-hmm.
family. You're adopting the family problems. Hey, listen, my mom's in the hospital. I gotta pay for medicine, pay for bills. Guess who? Guess who's paying for that now? Because you're the boyfriend.
Yep.
You are.
And that's another red flag that a good woman can have is the fact that she may be a financial support even before you came along uh, to her family. And so now the family is already accustomed to her being a financial support because she's a good woman. She has a degree. She has a form of success in her own country with her career. You come along, and so you're an add-on to that. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to stop being there for her family like she was before. Is almost it's going to be somewhat of an expectation for her to be there for the family now because she's not only taking care of herself and her family, she has you somewhat as a person to lean back on when it comes to taking care of the family. In other words, if she ain't got the $50, the family is like, well, what about your boyfriend? Now, since that red flag exists, and I'm glad that you brought that up in regards to the family, let's go back to Andre, because I can only talk about my scenario. That's why the question I asked when it came to my wife was who her family is. The old school in the South, who that boy family is. You brought that boy, your sister bring a boy to the house. Family in the South would say who that boy family is, who you brought in our house. Same thing that I did when I came to Colombia, who her family is. I made sure mom and dad been working at his job for 30 years. He about to retire. Mom been working for the same company for 25 years. They've been married for 30 years. They own their own apartment. The family owns farms and fincas around the country. Andre has several people in the family with degrees. Her brother has his degree, and he's one of the head mechanics for a Chevy dealership down here, not just a grease monkey garage, but he worked for the Chevy dealership. Andre has her corporate accounting career as well as her. I put all these equations into it because I know that you're correct. When you go into somebody's family, if the family ain't got nothing, they go come to the one person who got a little something. And if the one person who got a little something is in a relationship with you, guess who that person gonna get a little bit more from? You. So I'm in the family. They don't need mine because they got theirs before I even came into the picture. I purposely did that. It's not a coincidence that Andrea's family doesn't come asking us for this and trying to get that and trying to get this. They already got that. It's all paid off. It's all taken care of. They all have their own.
I'm really glad you brought that up. I'm gonna call that the trickle down effect. It starts at the top and it drips all the way down to you. So can you break down, please? You said before the breadwinner of the family. Now I've seen in these groups lots of times fellas will go, yeah, I got this lawyer or this doctor or so and so. So or basically she has her own money, but they're not looking at behind the scenes. Who else in the family has their own money? Who else in the family is working?
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's a red flag on its own, because if you're gonna say, oh yeah, we could just combine together or put together, and you not knowing what's going on behind the scenes, break down what's that like? Why a woman being a breadwinner of her family is a red flag?
Because if she's the breadwinner of the family, then you will eventually become the breadwinner also, not only, but also of the family. Because here in South America, as well as in many other countries, even in Asia, uh, shout out to my man Aaron, Black Man's Travel, even out there in that side of the world, the family usually has maybe one, two, three, four people that are the ones that bring in the bulk of the money, and the rest of the family has these little small jobs, if anything. So when you come along, you're expected, if you're a family member and you guys are talking about they invited me in like family and they treat me like family and a mom cooked for me and blah, blah, blah. If you want to be treated like family, okay, then what you are going to be doing, you're going to be a part of that breadwinner dynamic. If it's four people that give into the family dynamic of 25 people, guess who's going to be the fifth breadwinner or provider? You, because you decide to be a part of that type of family. I'll give you a perfect example. If I made the decision to be with the average Colombian woman who was a good woman who had a career and doing all her things, and I had done the research on the family dynamic, who her people is, guess who will also be a part of a breadwinner? Me, because I married a good woman who's making good money for her country. I mean, for in her country, but yet she's a provider for her family, which doesn't have much. Guess who's in the family now who has to technically be a provider for the family as well? Me. I would have had to do that. So since I know and I understand the dynamic of the Latin American countries out here in South America, I knew I didn't want to do that, be a breadwinner for 25 other people. I made sure that at least 17 of the 25 in my wife's family got their own and they living real good and don't need ours. because I understood and I didn't disrespect the dynamic. I didn't get mad at Colombian people for having that family dynamic of breadwinners. I just said I didn't want to be a part of it, and I didn't want to marry somebody whose family didn't have anything. Now, have there been times where, hey Dre, I need my brother needs some boots. Like I give a perfect example. Her brother Camilo had just graduated college. He had just got ready to start working for at that time period for the Toyota dealership. He didn't have his work boots. So as a graduation gift, we got him his work boots so he could have his work boots to start his job on that Monday. There were only 4 graduates that they chose to work for as a mechanic for the Toyota dealership down here, and he was one of the 4 graduates. So as a gift, we got him his work boots. That's a gift. There's a completely different dynamic than every other week you coming out some money to feed the family members. Completely different dynamic. It's one thing, like I got cousins. Hey, Dre, hey, dog, you got $50 till I get paid next week? You can have situations like that. We do that in the States. But I don't have to feed my family in the States. And if I didn't do it in the States, I didn't want to do it here. So I refused to ignore that red flag, even though I would have probably have been with a good woman. I want to make sure I was with a good woman, A, but also I was in a good family, B.
And gentlemen and ladies, because it happens to ladies too, where ladies will have to adopt the family of whoever they're dating, depending on the family dynamic. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to try to change it. Don't look at that person like, yeah, they're miserable. They don't want to do it, but they have to, because at the end of the day, they will choose force feeding their family money or taking care of people who could take care of themselves over you. Why does it happen? I don't know. That's just the dynamic.
I
And
could tell you why.
why?
In Latin, at least in Latin America, Latin Americans know this, especially in South America, that your day of needing somebody will come. Whether you're in the hospital, you're gonna need somebody to take care of you. Whether you're aging, you're gonna need somebody eventually to take care of you. Whether you have a flat tire, you're gonna need somebody to come out there and check on you. I kid you not. When we got in an accident, I've never seen this before in my life. For example, this is a perfect example. I'm driving down the street. Dude comes from the right hand side trying to cross over to the left. He hits us. No major accident. Fender bender. I snap, but fender bender. In less than 15 minutes, at least 8 of Andrea family members were right there at that accident. Even though we had already talked to them, everybody was fine. We sent pictures. Everything was cool. It was a small fender bender. 8 people showed up from everywhere. And I'm talking about from way from the other side of the city. When I talk about they riding the motorcycles down the block, 8 people. You're in the States, your family go come see you. If your car flip upside down 3 times, they might make it to the hospital, but they ain't coming to the accident site, especially for a fender bender. You all right? Okay, hit me up when you get home. That's the most you're gonna get in the States. In other words, you may be coming out of something monetarily right now for their families, and they know this, but they know the end game is that when they need their families, there's nothing that those family members won't do for them. That's why you see so many hot chicks in Medellin, so many hot chicks in Cali, Cartagena, walking with their old grandmama on their arm. And you'll see these sexy women and their grandmama just be on their arm. Why? Because the sexy woman knows her day of being an old woman is going to come someday. And she'll need her granddaughter to walk with her. They all look out for each other in one way or another. So just because we're judging these people because we see the monetary transaction, that when you live here, you see so much more that they look out for each other. Andrea and I are looking for apartments to purchase, right? Her family's got attorneys. Her family's got this. Her family's got that. They got all these connections that I would have had to pay for on a major scale if it was just Andre down here buying property, looking for a real estate. for a real estate attorney. All these things they've got. Why? Because they all own property. So when we sit back and we judge these people by way of, well, I got to give a few dollars because I'm gonna take care of the family. Don't think that the family ain't gonna take care of you either, because there's little things that they'll take care of you on, where people in the United States that you ain't never gave a dime to. Your family in the United States won't do nothing for you, ever, no, never, in certain instances.
And but wait, we have to get a little technical, Dre. Dre is not saying that you go and you find the first thing smoking on the internet or in the street, and you're like, hey baby, here's $500, bring this home. No. With Dre's situation, like he said, 17 out of 25. Wife was in an A+ situation before he met her. And I'm glad Dre brought up that example with his in-laws, because I could bring up examples of total opposites, right? Person I was dating in DR, I had to come out of pocket for the family at times, up to the point where if I was to do things for this chick, Dre, I would have to be like, listen, if anybody in your family asks, I did not do this for you. Anybody in your family asks, you did it on your own, you had some money saved up, do not involve me. I've had to go as far as getting the moms a plane ticket, dad a birthday gift, showing up Christmas, arms full, all this stuff. But I didn't get the get back. I didn't get my investment back like you did. So there are two sides of the coin going on there.
Correct.
So we're not saying, hey, yes, because you have the money. And that's another thing I want to add to the list of red flags. Money. Hey, just because you have the money and you have the power to do it, and you're with this breadwinner, to put yourself in a situation. Lots of the times we put ourselves in this situation by simply not asking the questions that we think are cringeworthy or might hurt somebody, or not taking our time. Jorge says all the time, take your time. By simply not taking our time, there's no rush. The ball is in our court. So before you pick somebody and you're ready to dish out money to them and the family, you got to ask yourself if you'll be getting your investment back. Shout out to Unc Taylor Made Dreams.
Shout out
in
to
the building
Russ.
from Thailand. Did a stream the other night. His stream times are crazy because I think right now it's daytime for him. So he'll I get the notification like at 2:00 in the morning, Russ going live. I'm like, God damn.
I'm still trying to get used to seeing him during the daytime, man. I'm still trying to get used to watching his live streams in his daytime. And so many times he's out and about and things like that. I'm happy for him, man. Love the photos that posted on Facebook and on Instagram, all those photos, having a good time.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop the link. Russ will do that. But Garden Scientist saying there ain't no Russ, so okay, I understand. He says a woman introducing to the woman in her family and not the men, red flag, depending how long you rocked her. So I guess he means if you're dating a woman and all she introduces you to are other women in her family and not the men, red flag.
That's a real good point. That's a really good point, because the men have just important insight in the family dynamic than the women. And if you're only meeting the women, well, if she's, especially, this is another one. If she's introducing you to family and friends sporadically, like you're meeting a cousin here, then you're meeting you're in Colombia, you meet a cousin here, and then maybe you might meet a best friend there. Then a few months later, you might meet a sister, and then all of a sudden, if you've been with somebody 3-4 months in Colombia, at least long 3-4 weeks, and you haven't met that family yet, the full scale family, because Colombians are nosy people anyway, because they want to see, okay, all right, let me see who she with. So if you meet people sporadically, that's another red flag. You should not be meeting their family and friends sporadically. You really shouldn't.
If they're hiding family members, cousins, brothers, uncles.
Right.
I don't know. It happens. I know a lot of you guys are scratching your head right now, like, shit. Yeah, it's been 6 months, and I think I've only said
You
hola
ain't
to
met
her
her
dad
sister yet in 6 months.
through a voice note. Listen, y'all, this is free game.
Yeah.
This is free game. Neil says unexplained income, and that's gonna tie into
Mm-hmm.
my money on the list. Unexplained income. Unexplained income, as simple as example for me in the Dominican Republic. Girl has an iPhone 13 Pro Max, 3 cameras, 256 gigabytes. But when it rains in a house, it sounds like somebody's hitting a spoon on aluminum foil. Tin roof, power going out, no roads in front of her house. But she got the iPhone 13 though. Working at the little lotto banks. A lot of you dudes get on Tinder, get on Facebook, get on Badu. Shout out to Jorge, man, because Jorge put me on so much game. He was like, yo, Chop, any of these women you see on Facebook or whatever, pay attention to the pictures, pay attention to the WhatsApp statuses, but not where they at and what they're doing. Are they at work? Or every time you see them, are they on vacation?
Hey,
Somebody
Chop.
could be in a huh? What do you say?
Hey, Chop. I
Oh
want you
no.
to keep on talking. I'm going to switch my router.
All right, no problem. So somebody could be in the campo, right? Or in favelas, Brazil, for example, or any barrios. And like Neil said, unexplained income. How are they supplying that lifestyle in these countries, right? The new phone, always by the pool, always at the nice restaurant, uploading pictures of the food, the nice plates. They're trapping. They're trapping. Like Jorge would say the word, they're basically trapping. They're trapping their bodies, right? Unexplainable. And a lot of you guys just run through that. And I don't understand how, or you don't care. And a lot of you don't care because you feel like, oh, I have the money, and a dollar is 5,000 pesos right now in Colombia, or a dollar is 54 pesos in Dominican Republic. I have the money. It's not gonna hurt me to not use common sense. It's not gonna hurt me to hit up Dre, be like, hey Dre, where are you paying $400, $300 a month at in rent in Colombia? And just be like, nah, let me go do my own. I could pay $1,000 to live in the same building as Dre because of the money.
Yeah.
A red flag for some of you folks is the money. The money that you go to these countries with give you this Superman complex, like I'm bulletproof. I can't be touched. I don't care if this girl got an iPhone 13 and she live in a 1 bedroom with 10 people and I need a 4x4 to get to her house. I don't care if one person's paying $200 a month in rent, but I gotta pay 800 or 1,000 in the same building, same area. I don't care because I got the money. Currency is a red flag for me.
Yes. Yes. I often say that your money is the one thing I notice about money is a blindfold. Most guys use their money as a blindfold. They come into these new countries and they take their money and wrap it around their eyes and they walk around Colombia like this and they use their money as the blindfold. You can't see what common sense normally allows you to see. Your spidey senses don't work anymore. You have no more superpowers as an American. You're dumb as a box of rocks. You can easily get got by somebody under 30. All the stuff, all the signs are there because you let money lead you. One of the worst, you're absolutely correct, Chop. One of the worst red flags there is when men allow themselves to be led by their money. As soon as they put that money around their eyes and they can't see anything because they got money, that's the worst thing that you could. But I'm on vacation. I'm ready to party. I want to throw my money around. I want to give it to this and give it to that. I'm only here for 5 days. I'm having fun. Excuses will get you got in these countries. That's the I'm saying. I'm gonna say something sincerely, Chop. I've been saying this for the last month. If you think like that with your money, don't come to Colombia. This ain't that Colombia anymore. It's gone. It's gone. It's too dangerous to come in any part of this country. Any part of this country, if you're money led, don't come to Colombia. And I mean that. I'm going to continue to say that. There are over 191 countries in the world. Why would you keep coming to one of the most dangerous ones and you are led by money? Why would you still go to Medellin? Why would you still come to Colombia? There is no, if I'm a type of guy that's like most of you guys, no offense, there is no way in the world I will cross the threshold of Colombia. What for? Why are you coming here? One of the stupidest things you can do if you're a man that is ignore the red flag of what Chop is saying of money. Do not come to Colombia. You ain't built for this. You gonna end up going back or not making it back. And I mean that from sincere heart. Do not come to Colombia. It's not built like that no more. It's not even like it was in 2018. It's completely different. You came down here, you flooded the country with money, which you was already making money, real money, but you flooded it with more money from tourism. Cool. But you went about it in many ways the wrong way. Cool. But you changed the ecosystem. And so the Colombia that was in 2010 and 2003 and 2018 for many of us, that Colombia don't exist anymore, guys. It is more dangerous now for tourists than it has been in a long time. Stop coming to Colombia. I don't know why y'all keep doing that. Now, for those that got some sense in their head, like me and Chop, and we are money led, you can come down here, have a ball, meet some good people, make it back home, and still live to tell the tale. But all you do is there's money led, and I know you're not gonna listen to me because you think you know every dang thing. But I'm telling you now, don't come to Colombia. Go. We got 12 countries in this continent. Go to all the other ones. Go to all the other countries. You got Uruguay, Paraguay. You got Brazil. You got Argentina. You got Peru. You got
Don't send them
Chile.
to Brazil. Don't come to Brazil.
No, okay, don't go to Brazil.
Don't go
You
to
got
Brazil.
Ecuador. You can go hit Panama. Do not come down to Colombia if you are still led with money. If you only got 5 days of vacation time and you got 5,000 to burn, don't come to Colombia. I'm telling you, it's that dangerous. Like Austin Holloman said. Austin Holloman says, "Is that bad here in Colombia? Is that bad? Don't come down here. You ain't built for this.
Mm-mm.
You are not built for this."
They will part you from your money faster than you try to do it yourself.
They part you for your money and your life. That's the problem. I in the small sense, many of us ain't had no problem when they was parting us for the money. Now they parting these dudes from their life and their money.
Man, what a time now where you lead with your money and you lose your life.
You lose your life, man.
What a time. Rod, thank you for the birthday shout. I appreciate that. He says, "Don't hate the player, hate the game." Talking about these.
I like when dudes say that. I
Yeah.
said, don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Just read the rules in the rule book. What Chop is giving you tonight, man, are the rules that are in the game. Every game you open up the box or you unwrap the package. What do they come with?
The rule
The
book.
rules and the rules. They come with the rules. You guys will go ahead and open up the box of Uno cards and come up with like 15 different ways to play Uno or 15 different ways to play spades. When they already tell you this is how you play the game. And so we're so used to going behind the scenes and changing the rules, we think we can come to Colombia and change these rules. And they already got, when you open up the box and play the game in Colombia, players, we ain't hating the game, we ain't hating the player. But you gotta follow the rules. And if you ain't gonna follow the rules that's in the box, Do not, and I'm going to continue to say this, don't come to Colombia. And I'm not saying this flippantly. I'm not saying it, well, he being facetious or he joking. I'm trying to save your life. It's like that down here. I'm not talking about like, yeah, I'm tough, so I'm made in Colombia. No, I'm a married dude. I'm settled. I'm a settled soul. I live down here like a regular everyday life like you dudes live in America. So I'm a different breed. But I'm talking to you guys that got 5 days and 5,000 in your pocket. Son, you ain't gonna make it. You may have made it the first time like that and the second time, but you keep on playing around in Colombia, you gonna get got. Like the one dude that just passed on. He said he got drugged 3 times. 3 times, and he was living here in Medellin. And then what happened? Last time they find his body 3 days later in his apartment. Brother, 57 years old. Y'all keep on playing. Come on down. Okay. You're hard headed. Come on down here. Watch how many more y'all gonna come up floating. Your ash is gonna be being sent back home. Come on down. John Doe's. Ain't nobody gonna know what happened to you because you ain't had your passport. You wasn't walking around Colombia with your passport on you. So now
They
you
took
a
that.
John Doe. Your mama don't know where you are. Your kids who you love back in the States, they don't know where you are. You in the morgue in Colombia as a John Doe. But you think this a game because you got 5 days and $5,000 in your pocket.
The timing you mentioned, Drake, because I've personally have spoken to and given consultations to people who feel like they're on a ticker. Like, yeah, I got X amount of days out there. I got this amount of money. I'm ready to blow through it all. And then you tell them, hey, listen, you could leave half of that. You didn't have to bring 5,000. You could bring less of that. Just go to A, B, and C. Don't do anything else, and you'll have a great, cheap, fun, genuine time.
Hey,
So
Chop.
now, when you come with the 5 days, $5,000 mentality, you're gonna go back to the States broke. You're gonna mess up the ecosystem of expats who live there, who are having a grand time paying 50 cents for a beer. Now they gotta talk the store owner down for why you charge me $3 for something I paid 50 cents for yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Single dudes who like their roster, their pay for play. Now they got to talk to the girl. Listen, why are you charging me 1,000,000 pesos Colombiano instead of the regular 200,000 that I always pay you? And they don't care. Y'all throw the money up in the air. Y'all go to these places. Y'all make it rain. You post it on TikTok. You post it on YouTube. Question: How, on a scale of 1 to 10, how tough do you guys feel? Does the needle hit the F on your ego tank when you guys go to these countries and you stunt for the internet, stunt for social media? That's another red flag for me. Social media. If you're so involved on showing a life that isn't true to you, a life that isn't yours on social media, you have no right in traveling. Go to therapy first before you travel. Go to that T before you do the other T. Therapy before traveling. If
Yeah.
you're so wrapped up in social media, if you're so wrapped up in showing out, if you're so wrapped up in going to a country, throwing money in the air, putting yourself in danger, putting people around you in danger, and just changing the whole complex of, okay, if somebody flies in to this international airport, this is what I should expect.
Absolutely correct. One of the things that gets me, child, which I going back a few minutes ago when you were talking, it amazes me when these dudes get got. Is it just me? What these women find in these guys' Airbnbs? 3 laptops, 4,000 in cash, 15,000 in jewelry, maybe $800 worth of liquor, whatever they like to smoke, at least 2,000 of that. It's so you be like, who is taking a 5 day trip with 3 laptops? It is never something like, yeah, she got away with $200 because that's all I had. It's never nothing like that. It's always like a smorgasbord. It's like going to you guys when they get you guys. Am I lying, child? It's always
Nah.
more. It's all you be like, you know, it be like, oh, she got a slingshot, all type of bow and arrow set, whatever it is. You guys have it in there like it's a swap meet. Y'all be bringing more stuff that's in a pawn shop down to Colombia. And these, I got one video that we're going to be doing tomorrow. This young lady had obviously, incapacitated the young man. She walked out of his Airbnb with like 3 or 4 grocery bags. I mean, not grocery bags, but big trash bags with the stuff. I'm like, other than furniture, what did you bring down to an Airbnb where a woman who incapacitates you needs 3 garbage bags? She even used your garbage bags that you had in your Airbnb to take your stuff. I never understood why dudes travel with all this. I could see if you were a content creator like me, or I work online. Didn't you say you was on vacation? If you down here for 5 days on vacation, what are you talking about? I work online. So which one is it? So you bringing down 3 laptops, a partridge in a pear tree. Am I lying? Stop me when I'm lying. It'd be like a whole swap meet. It'd be like a Christmas tree worth of gifts in these dudes' Airbnbs. I'm like, how you get robbed? These dudes be like, she robbed me for $20,000 worth of jewelry. I'm like, she took and she took 5 pair of Jordans. Each one of those Jordans were $500 to $600 a piece. Someone with $350, but the rest of them was $600. This is an Adidas country in Colombia. First of all, know what country you're going to. This is Adidas country. It ain't Yeezys. It's just regular old Adidas. So when y'all be trying to come down here flashing with the latest Jordans, Colombians don't know what the latest Jordans are. They don't know what a Jordan that came out last week. All Colombians care about. I'm going to give you guys a secret. And I mean this. I've said this before. Colombians only care about grooming. Once again, grooming. You will see dudes that are multi-millionaires in Colombia with a regular button-down shirt. Ain't nothing Versace about it. Nothing. But they worth millions and billions. Or a regular polo shirt, but they worth billions and millions. Or a t-shirt. Everything in Colombia is about, is it clean? Is it ironed? Is it pressed? Do you smell good? Are your teeth clean? What about your face? Is it clean? Everything is about grooming. You can have the cheapest, most inexpensive Chuck Taylors there are on. But if those Chuck Taylors are clean, women in Colombia are going to respect that way more than these Yeezys came out yesterday. So when you guys get robbed of 5 pair of Jordans, I'm like, what are he doing with 5 pair of Jordans in Colombia?
You know what? Y'all watch too much Fast and Furious movies. Ever since that 5th one, when they went to Brazil and the Ludacris came with the laptops and the money and the safe, y'all got it all fucked up. Y'all watch too much movies.
Too many movies.
That's
why I said most dudes ain't built for this. Don't come to Colombia. Go to somewhere else with a digital nomad. Go to Bali, where you can bring all the laptops or all the computers you want. Go to Bali. Go to countries like that.
You don't get, Drake. I bet half of these people are paying overweight fees just to flex on the internet.
That's sad. And then, but hey, the girl that's about this is the funny part. The girl that's about to incapacitate you with the little scope in your drink, she's gonna take photos in your Airbnb, or you're gonna take them of her, so she can flex on Instagram in your Airbnb while your body is laying right there. Y'all don't think about that. They don't just run out the door and say, grab what you can get, girl, let's go. No, they know you out for at least 3 to 6 hours, if not 3 days. They know they can take their time. Girl, we could take photos of his Airbnb. Oh, he got a nice balcony. He got a nice view. They gonna post all their photos on Instagram as if they have been in that Airbnb and they have paid for it themselves. Like they were on a weekend getaway with a girlfriend. The whole time your body is laying there and you drooling.
Cropping your
So
foot
you
on the
guys
floor.
really don't know. This is not a game. Don't come to Colombia. I kid you not. Don't if I was single, I wouldn't be here. I'm going to repeat that. If I was a single guy and I thought like most of you dudes, I wouldn't be here. It's too dangerous to be on Fun Boy. It's too dangerous in Colombia. That's a red flag. When you know that the country is too dangerous to be in, don't come to that country. There are countries in the Middle East, you know that for you to be a fun boy, it might be too dangerous. So you don't go to that country. Treat Colombia like you would treat some of those countries in the Middle East that won't allow you to be a fun boy. Because this ain't the place for you. And I mean that, guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And I continue to say that as time progresses, it's getting worse and worse for you. Not for me. I'm just a regular walking around average dude. Average ring, average watches. I got a truck, so with tents, I got tents on purpose. And the reason why you get your car tinted, not just to keep the sun rays out, but because they don't know what's on the other side of that glass. So they don't roll up on somebody with tents because they don't know what's on waiting for them on the other side of that glass. You don't know that. I know that. I live here, so I got a better chance because I'm a part of the community. But you 5 days with $5,000 in your pockets, it's too dangerous for you dudes, man. It's too much information that you don't know. And Colombian, I never see the Colombian woman that was pretty enough for me to give my life up for. Not for one night of pay for play. It's another red flag, Chop, here in Colombia. 2 women want you. If 2 women want you the same night in Colombia, that's a red flag. Now, can some dudes get away with it? Yeah. You get 2 regular Colombian girls that are 6s or 5s. Yeah, you get that. Or if you're paying for upper echelon 10s and 11s, yeah. But if you see 2 women walk up on your roly-poly unattractive butt and you ain't never had 2 women walk up on you in your life, that's a red flag. Colombian women don't share. They don't play that sharing. It is hard enough to find a good dude. And if you're a good dude, like many of you are, and 2 women want you, can I call my girlfriend? If she talking about calling a girlfriend, kick her out and get on the nearest plane and get out the country. That's a red flag.
That ain't DR, folks, where they hit you with the happy hour, Poppy, you two for one. I bring my friend or I bring my cousin. They didn't gay folk. And Drake, on previous lives, you have mentioned how to have fun safely. Like I think in Brazil they call it termas. But basically there's these places where you could go and you do your pay for play in a secure environment, clean women with a job, and not just Colombia. A lot of dudes travel to these countries, and you get with women. You hang around people. I don't know if women do this a lot. I got some comments need to get to, but yeah, hang around people that got nothing to lose in their own country. Instead of going to the Claro and asking the girl out who just gave you a SIM card,
who will give you her phone number. That blows me away. So many women down here.
Dre, she has a job. She's too intelligent. she got her own money. I need somebody that need me. Yeah,
I got a partner down here, right? And he just left this week. He came down here for a week and he just left. And he did a consultation with me, followed my advice. He went out on a date with a young lady that's right around 27, 28. And I forgot what profession that she's in, but he had forgotten, but she's successful. He had forgotten his cash. He had his card, and his card wouldn't work at that particular restaurant. No, it was all cash. all cash restaurant. That's what it was. He was like, oh man, I thought I had enough cash on me. She said, baby, don't worry about it. I got us. How much is it? Tore the money off. They've been dating ever since.
Off
There
of your
are
advice.
women here, and that's not uncommon. That is not. Andre takes me out all the time. Even when we were just on the dating mode, Andre was taking me out. It's not uncommon. It's just uncommon when you just on fun boy mode. With Dre, I only got 5 days. Dude, in 5 days, I was smashing some of the most professional women that you ever want to meet in Medellin. I was never, there was nothing that I touched. This is the crazy part, Chop. At that time period, my Airbnb was in the heart of Parque Aires, not down the block, not down the street. The women used to say, I don't see how you can take this music at night. She said, the women used to say, this is too loud. I didn't know that I booked my Airbnb right in. I didn't know what Parque Aires was back in 2018. And so when I booked it, all I knew was, let me get a spot a couple of blocks from Ace, right? Because Ace is going to be showing me around at that time. I didn't know I was in the middle of that. But my point is, these women all had their own. They were taking me out, showing me the city, showing me a great time. We was getting our freak on, and I got back on the plane safely with no issues. So I know what it's like to be a fun boy and only have a few days. But at the same time, even back then, I knew to look out for myself. And I never touched, to this day, I never touched anything in Parque Aires. And if I was to do something, if I was single, I'm a brothel boy. You know the price. In Colombia, they have to get their bodies checked up for diseases. They have to. That's a must to be in a brothel. You got security. You ain't gonna have nobody in there acting a fool in a brothel. That's not about to happen. You get to choose, so you're not stuck with one. They all gonna line up and walk up on you and say, "My name is so and so. My
Like
name
rush
is so,"
hour.
and shake your hand.
Shake your
Every
hand.
brothel I've been to, I don't see why dudes ain't busting down the doors in brothels.
Hey, let's keep that a secret. It's okay.
I do
It's
not
okay.
get that one, man. I
It's
don't.
okay.
And the women that work there are just as fat as the women that, if not better than the women y'all have on the streets. Because brothels, no, I can't just have any old chick in here. Because if my brothel get known for just having regular chicks, dudes will go to the brothel down the street with the hot chicks. So I got to keep the hot chicks in mind. So they got to keep some attractive ones.
You know what's crazy about the brothels in Colombia, Dre? My boy, he's Colombian. He brought me to one in Bogota, and just like you said, you walk in, and I still, can I call her Maitre D'? She's like the lady in charge.
Yeah,
And she still writes me to this day on WhatsApp. We go back and forth, exchange pleasantries. Great lady. You go in, you sit down. About 14 of them will come out. Hi, how you doing? Shake your hand, do a little turnaround, and they ask you what you want to drink. How many do you want? For how long? The brothels are beautiful. And you know what else I learned? Some of the women who work there pretend to work other jobs. So they'll leave the house at 6 a.m. dressed up with a briefcase, I'm going to work, and then they'll go work in a brothel, leave at 6, come back home busy day at work, signing papers and all that stuff.
The other thing about the brothel is the women feel safer because now they don't have to go to a stranger's Airbnb, a stranger's hotel. We already know that it's always some crazy brothers or white boys taking their butt to another country, acting a fool, slapping some female around, and just harming ladies. Well, the women know that in the brothel there's security and they can feel safe. There's a shower afterwards. You have to use protection. All these things taken into account. And if she wants to deal with you, she'll give you her phone number. And most of the time, if you even deal with the female that outside of the brothel, let's say you want her overnight, you ask her for the overnight cost. And she says, okay, when I get off work, I'll come to you. You pay for the Airbnb, blah, 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 right? I mean the Uber, blah, 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 blah. Most of the time, these aren't the type of women that are putting. that are putting brothers in problematic situations. Right? Why? Because she automatically know from the rip. You know where she works. You know her full-time job. You know where you got her from. All the people there know her. So she's not the one that's going to get you for a laptop. Usually it's them chicks that's in the streets that y'all digging through the alleys. Y'all digging through. If Colombia had alleys, that's who y'all sleep with. Alley chicks, back alley chicks.
Y'all telling the Uber driver, hey, pull up right here. You pulling your window down. You asking the chick how much. Y'all playing Grand Theft Auto in Colombia. Seriously.
And you wonder why you're getting the results you're getting? Are you really that surprised?
Fishing in them wells, them bottom feeding wells. I'm telling y'all hate to mess with. I think you guys hate to mess with people who got something to lose. Elvis says a red flag is when a chica disappears for days during the holidays and make up unreasonable excuses. She probably went to a finca with a group of friends to get drunk and have sex.
That's a white flag.
That's a white flag?
Yeah, because she showed you that before. She's giving up. She's not taking you serious. That's why she can do that. Because she wasn't taking you serious from the get-go. A female that's taking you serious, she wouldn't do that. Andrea has hung out when we were on the dating, done plenty of things with her family and friends and the girlfriends. There was no disappearing act. I knew what was about to take place. A chica that cares nothing less about you, she'll do that disappearing act all day long. She's waved the white flag. That's not a red flag. That's a white flag. You are nothing serious to her. White flag. She's not battling. In other words, she's not going to battle or fight for you. That's what the white flag means. I'm not fighting anymore. Yeah. She's not fighting for you. You're not worth the battle. You're not worth the phone call. You're not worth the text message. You're not worth the FaceTime. She's waving the white flag. You're not worth it. You're not worth it. Not you're not worthy. You're not worth being worthy. You're not worth her time of taking you serious like she's taking her boyfriend serious that she's going to the finca with. That's who she's taking serious. That's who doesn't get the white flag. You already saw the signs. You saw the white flag. So sometimes you guys try to make yourself feel better by saying it's a red flag when technically it's a white flag. She ain't never took you serious. You know it. She knows it. The only person that's lying to themselves is not her, is you. She's been waving it for 6 months. She's always flaked you. She's always had an excuse for this and an excuse for that. Everything that you just said in the text, that's a white flag. She's not fighting for you. You're not worth it in her eyes. So don't make the mistake of thinking that that's a red flag, that she's a bad person or did something bad. No. How many times have we done that to a woman? We got her number, we smashed her, and we put up the white flag. We done disappeared on her. We ain't answering the phone as much as we used to. We ain't. The only time we showing up is when we want to smash again. We don't think they really worth all that except a good smashing. That's a white flag. You got white flag, bruh. Don't feel bad about it. That's what it is. We did it in the States all the time. Now all of a sudden we want to come to Colombia. Women do that to us. We want to cry. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Hey, just don't ignore it after or make excuses. Yeah. It's funny Elvis brought that up because I've been on the end of somebody ignoring that white flag when I was in DR, and dude hits me up. He's like, listen, all I know is that I proposed to this girl in front of her family one Christmas. She has the engagement ring. And then come September, I stopped hearing from her. She blocked me. I managed to, add her through another account, and I just see you on her Instagram at her family's house during Christmas.
Hey.
And you know what's the crazy part, Drake? The guy still tried to get back with her. He basically, in a way, asked me for permission. He's like, hey, are you done with her? Like, are you done dating her or talking to her so I could try again? I'm like, bro, after all that she put you through, you went to her house for Christmas, proposed, she said yes, ignored you, started messing with me, brought me to the same house. put it on the internet for everybody to see, and you still want that,
including him.
including him, fellas. We do it to ourselves.
Yes, you do.
We do it to ourselves, fellas. Why must we continue to be where we're not wanted? We do it to ourselves, fellas. Fishing in the wrong ponds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Process. I was gonna go to Colombia. Tyrese. Colombia's not in the World Cup. Colombia's not in the World Cup. Oh yeah, they
Nope, this
lost.
year. Yeah, they lost.
They lost. Yeah.
Canada got in and Colombia didn't.
Oh,
Canada ain't been in 32 years.
Jeez. Man, for Brazil, they're letting everybody out of work early Thursday so they could go watch the game. It's gonna be something amazing here Thursday. Bessie asks, what advice do you have for sexy senior citizen females when the guys try flirting with us?
In the States or out of the States?
She lives in the Dominican Republic.
That would be for you, Chopper. Because all I know from DR, they see an older woman, check. They see an older woman, checks. You see, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
They see an older woman, check. They see an older woman, checks.
Bars. That's it, Bessie. Take it with a grain of salt, especially, and no offense, if the guy is about 15 to 20 years younger than you. Don't take it serious.
Take it serious.
Don't take it serious. Tell yourself you're here for you're here for a good time, not a long time.
That's it. Have fun with it. Go ahead, get your back blue out, get you all the screaming in, have your fun, enjoy yourself. You're gonna be fitting the bill for everything because you know he ain't buying no drinks. So go ahead, buy the drinks, have your fun, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Do it like Angela Bassett. Stella, get your groove back. I ain't mad at you, but don't take whatever he tells you. All that more meal. No, don't ignore all that.
Mi vida, mi reina, mi negra, mi morena.
None of that.
Don't take it serious, Bessie. Especially over there, don't take it serious.
Yeah.
Because this is what he sees, the S, the dollar sign.
That's all he's seeing.
That's the real amor.
At least it's kind of sad because at least with men going to these locations, we do have a percentage of us that find good relationships and can settle down. But you rarely see a woman can go to some of these locations and actually settle down and not subconsciously think that he settled down with me for the money or because us men, we realize that financial responsibility is a part for the course of being in any family, whether it be in the States or out of the States. So we don't trip on the fact that, well, she wants you for your money. Well, women in the United States want me for the money. So we ain't tripping on that part. But for it to be on the back end for a woman to try to find somebody serious in some of these countries, it's a lot harder because they want you for the money. And technically, a woman should not have to be the financial breadwinner of a household in the name of love. So just go over there, have fun. Like we said, enjoy your drinks, enjoy your dances, get your bachata on, your merengue, but don't take it serious, girl. It's gonna sound good though. Mm-hmm. It's gonna sound good to where you want to stay and cry and tell your family put your granddaddy on the phone. I'll tell you, but don't do it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of female expat stories coming out from the Dominican Republic where, they're starting to get a little bit of common sense that, you know what, let me hold off on the K1 visa. Let me hold off on bringing him to the States. Let me take my time. I think I had a consultation with a woman who actually wanted to retire from the States to go live in DR and get married and so on. And I told her, like, listen, the best advice I can give you right now is just time. Don't rush it. Don't let him rush you. If you're gonna go over there, just understand it's a huge culture difference. I understand, the distance can make things a little hard, the mi amors and all that stuff. But like Russ has said on his channel, like I will continue to see on my channel, end of the day, they're nationalists. If they can be with each other, they will be.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter if you brought them the sun, moons, and stars and the Milky Way behind it. If they could be with somebody of their race, their culture, they'll do it hands down. So Bessie, be careful out there in the Dominican Republic.
Oh yeah, have fun, but be careful.
Mhm. Ross says thousands of tourists arrive in Colombia every day. They don't have that experience. Only the ones who enter the danger zone get got.
Absolutely correct, Rob. I could not disagree with you more. That's why I say if you on Fun Boy to where you ignore the red flags, you ignore common sense, you ignore just regular things. Don't come to Colombia if you're one of those people that ignore it. But he's absolutely correct. So many people come down here to Colombia and have a great time and go back home to tell the tale.
Like Peter says, Pastor guys, freedom, be smart and cautious. Anywhere you go, do your research. And
Absolutely correct.
you don't even have to do research nowadays. You could literally go on YouTube, type in Chop About TV, type in Andre Love Crossing Borders, type in Telemate Dreams, Black Man Travels. You could put on your headphones, go to the gym, and just listen for 2 hours. There's no reading involved. There's no subscriptions you have to sign up for. There's no OnlyFans. There's no flags you have to wave down. This is all on YouTube from people who are not going back and forth. You don't see Dre at the airport every 2 weeks, every 3 months. You don't see me at the airport. You don't see Jorge at the airport. We're here. We live here. And the fact that people continue to not listen to those who are here full time, who could tell you something a week before it'll hit your media outlet. Come on, the power's in your hands.
Yep. Yep, you're absolutely correct. It's like I was saying, we're ready to go to Europe next year. And because of YouTube, I have at least 6 apps in my phone already from watching YouTube videos on how to go catch a train here, to buying a discount train tickets, to the best locations to get this, their version of the citywide GPS for restaurants and all those things, just based off of YouTube. I didn't have to read any books, any research. I was like, oh, so this is the app. Okay, let me download that app. Okay, which other app should I have? Okay, let me get this app real quick. Okay, so now I got like 6 apps in my phone, and I have so much knowledge from those that already live there. So if you're going to do research, he's absolutely correct. Do research about the countries, but it's a lot easier now because there's so much content about every place now.
So much content. Yeah, you could just connect your Bluetooth, put this on in the car, listen. You don't have to watch.
Yep.
Just listen. It's at your
Just
disposal
listen.
to rewind, man. You guys got it good, better than from I guess when Dre started in 2018. When I started, you guys have it great. We're
Oh,
I think we're only here to build winners.
definitely.
I believe so. Jeremy, good evening. Good evening. So
My man.
what's for this year alone? What have been the newest um, red flags you have seen, you know, coming into Colombia and I guess in Colombia already?
I think some of the newest red flags I've seen is and I'm trying to keep it around things that have to do with relationships or just meeting people. I would, you know what, in all sincerity, Colombians are saying this: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They know if they incapacitate you for a few hours, they could get away with it. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get your stuff back. The ladies know that you're not going to get your stuff back. 9 times out of 10, the police aren't going to do anything. This is not the United States, so the ladies already know that. 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to go to jail unless just it's a situation where they literally caught that person, or a situation like somebody literally lost their lives. Most part, you got, nobody's going to go to jail. So Colombians really, it's really nothing new because they know if it ain't broke, we ain't gonna fix it. In other words, the same way they were getting guys last year during Christmas is the same way they got guys in 2020. They just amping up the same formula. Just add water. They just amping up the same formula. If in 2021 they planted 5 orchards of stupidity, in 2022 they planted 30 orchards of stupidity. In 2023 they're going to plant 50 orchards for you to walk in there and eat the fruit of stupidity. They're not going to change anything because they know this, the system is on their side. Think about it. Half the time guys say that the police officers either walked away with a chain or walked away with some of the money or walked away with their computer. So what makes you think that it's going to get any better? This formula it works perfectly for a scammer. It works perfectly. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's getting arrested unless somebody passes on. And even if the person gets arrested, they'll be out the next day. The jails are so packed with Colombian issues, with just regular Colombian criminals. They don't have enough room for the girl that drugged you and took your little laptop. They don't have room in there for them. So they're gonna lock her just to satisfy you until you get back on the plane, and that little girl gonna be back on the streets tomorrow morning. I hate to say it like that, but it's true. This is Colombia, dude. This ain't the United States. How they do it is completely different. So they figure if it ain't broke, they are not gonna fix it. And that's the only advice that I could give guys. There's maybe it's some new ways about getting a guy where it used to be to just blow it in your face, and now they just sprinkle it in your drink, or they put it on body parts with Vaseline. The different methods. They do it in tandems and twos. They know that y'all dumb enough to go for the 2 girls. If you dumb enough to go for one, she look at it like, can I bring a girlfriend? And you really stupid enough to go for that. What your girl? Here you go. What your girlfriend look like? Here she is. Ooh. That might not even be her. And if it is, okay, cool. Because the one that you got in there right now is only a 4 in Colombia. Most of the girls that get guys are not 8s, 9s, and 10s. It's rarely an 8, 9, and 10 that's going around getting these guys. It's usually a 4 through 6. And nobody talks about that. It's usually a 4 through 6. It's nobody highly attractive. Usually it's a girl that's even, quite often it's a young lady that got a form of obesity too. It's never a dime. It's never somebody fine. It's always somebody. Every blue moon you'll see on the Facebook page for guys that got a highly attractive woman that got the guys. But you scroll down and see all the pictures, and it's usually just a 4 through 6 that usually get these guys. So when the girl shows her friend, the friend might be a 7. So here you go with this 4. You see the friend that's a 7, and you go, yeah, come over.
but Dre, if you add them both together, you get, it's more than a 10.
You
right?
got a 12.
You got to do Voltron with the women now. You got to put 3s and 4s and 5s together to get a 10.
Y'all have fun with that.
Now that you mention it, that the latest Asian brother to lose his life, when he put a picture up of the girl that they're looking for, I'm like,
4 through 6.
Little skinny chick.
Nothing green, hot about her.
Nothing.
And that's how most of these guys, the women that look like with most of these guys, they always a 4 through 6. You never see a dude get got by a 10. You never see dudes getting got by 11s. It's always the 4 through 6s. Always, every time. You might see a 7 or 8 up in the mix every blue moon. But the chicks that got the looks, the real looks in Colombia, no, man. They like what the reason with that those women that are like that, the 8, the 9, 10, the true 9, 10s and 11s, they know they could talk you out the money or sex you out the money. They already know. Uh, 4, you can only charge him blah 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 blah. I'm an 11. He'll have to pay 8 times that much for me, and he's gonna pay it. So I ain't got to rob him. I ain't got to do all that mess that you girls do. It's never those women. Never. I can't think of one time that I saw a dude post a photo, show a picture of a girl that was a 10 or a 9 that he just got. It's always 4 through 6s. Always. That's the part that blows.
Why is that? Why are guys traveling just to be with low tier bottom feeders, and not bottom feeders in the sense of life, like in the sense of looks also? Why is that?
Because most people don't want to admit this. Most brothers don't want to admit this. Most brothers that, not most, but many, let's say many, let's not use the term most. Many brothers that come down here are socially awkward in 2 ways. See, a lot of times people think socially awkward is the dude that can't get women. Some dudes are socially awkward because they get too many women, but they get the wrong women. You could get too many women and end up getting the wrong women. In other words, you can't differentiate between who you should have in your face and who you can't have in your face. Sometimes dudes think that socially awkward means that that's the dude that can't get no chicks. He can't holler at nobody. No, socially awkward is also dude that can't monitor the type of women that get to his life. He just socially unaware. He just socially don't know how to pick and choose women. Even though women, I know some dudes that are highly attractive and they get got. Why? Because they don't know how to monitor the type of beautiful women or regular women that come into their face. They get women, but they keep getting the wrong type. That's socially awkward. So dudes come down here socially awkward with 5 days and 5,000. You can't rectify awkwardness in 5 days. Let's say you got the first round of socially awkward, the dude that just ain't used to being around hot chicks. He could get got easy because as soon as a hot chick walk in his face, and usually that 6 that walk up in his face, he think is hot. So dudes feel comfortable just like they were in the States dating cute girls and not hot chicks. And most dudes that dated cute girls have never dated a hot chick. So they do the same thing when they come to Colombia. They'll get a cute girl, but they won't get a hot chick. You see where I'm going with that?
Right.
Because they ain't used to that. And so that's why they always get got by a 4 through 6, because that's what they chose when they was in the States. They ain't choosing nobody different from who they chose in the States. A 4 through 6 was what they were dating in the States. So they came to Colombia and dated the 4 through 6 version. You see dudes do it in DR. Dudes get off the plane, and a lot of dudes, you can tell who's used to being with 8, 9s, and 10s, and you can tell who's used to being with 4 through 6s. You don't rectify that in a 5-day trip. Now, let's talk about the other form on the other scale of socially awkward. The dude that could get all the women. He was getting all the women in the States. So he was carefree. Good women, bad women. He had them all. But even in the States, if you get good women or bad women, for the most part, they aren't dangerous women for the most part. But then you try to bring that same behavior to Colombia. You getting all the women. But the bad women will take your stuff or take your life. There's a difference between getting all the ladies in the States and have the ability to get all the ladies in Colombia. Getting all the ladies in the States, you just get maybe 1 or 2 of them fighting over you. Here in Colombia, the only person that's going to be fighting is you, fighting for your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's socially awkward, to where you get all these ladies and yet you still can't differentiate who you should have in your life and who you shouldn't, even though you got all the ladies.
I like that last point you brought up, because I feel that's a huge thing nowadays with people not being able to differentiate who's in your life. Folks, your time is something you can't get back.
No.
So why are you investing it in the place where you're not happy, or someone doesn't want to be around you the way you want to be around them, or you're not getting nothing out of it. It ain't free. It ain't cheap. You may have it, but it's costing you one way or another. And I realized that when I moved out here to Brazil, huge graduation for me this year, moved from DR to Brazil, where I started to be around people who wanted to be around me more than I wanted to be around them. And that's a huge step in graduation because number one, that opens up plenty of doors to your life and having the right energy around, having the right mindset, having help. A lot of you guys, you say, "Oh, I got this cheek, I got this now on my WhatsApp." But if push come to shove, if you were at the airport or your flight got delayed and you need to get picked up from the airport, are these chicas helping you get home? Are these chicas helping you get to your Airbnb? You have a situation with a cops. Are these chicas gonna speak up for you? I've been in Brazil about 4 months, Dre, and I've gotten gifts from about 3 different women that I didn't ask for. I didn't ask for them. I've gotten into arguments with women because I did not want to split the bill. They want to split the bill. I'm like, no. I asked you out. Let me take care of the bill.
Mm-hmm.
Up to the point where she goes, listen, if we don't split this bill, you're not going to see me again. How many dudes, how many travelers could say they find themselves in that situation? A lot of you guys are messing with people when the bill comes, they're looking at everywhere but you.
Mm-hmm.
Or they hit you with the, can I order something to bring back home for my mom or for my son? The red flag you guys are doing is ignoring your time and watering down your worth. And I'm glad this year specifically I had Dre in one ear and Jorge in the other, just hammering into me like, listen, watch where you're around, watch where you're fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here tonight on YouTube as a living product. Like, listen, y'all, that shit is true. It works. Watch who you're gonna be around. Watch who you're gonna have in your life. Who you're gonna accept. Because all that energy, all that mentality, that stuff is true. Between the families, between the person's goals, what they're doing for a living, all that is true. Whether it be 5 days or 5 years, it don't change nothing.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And
Shock.
it doesn't change. The red flags and the white flags gonna always be there. Now it's up to us to not ignore them. You can't. I often say this: everybody's doing their job, but you. The police say they're not going to help you. They're doing their job. The female says we're going to rob you. She's doing her job. The guys that are training the females to rob you, they're doing their job. The Airbnb host or the front desk dude that didn't look out for you, still doing his job. Everybody is doing their job correctly, but you. Your job is to get on off that plane, enjoy yourself, have a good time, and get yourself back on that plane, back home safely. That's your job. Nothing else. That's it. Your job is not happiness. Your job was not to have fun. Your job was not to enjoy yourself. Your first job, if you decide to get off the plane, you should be getting back on the plane safely. That's your job. And if you don't do your job, everybody else in Colombia is still going to do their job. Police is still going to be grimy. Females still going to be crafty and shisty. The Airbnb host and the front desk dude still going to be untrustworthy. Everybody's going to do their job, 100% as if they had to punch in to do it, as if the pay for play scammer had to punch into a job. She's on top of a job, as if the police officer had to punt into a job and not be there for you. He's on his job, as if the Airbnb host or the front desk of the hotel that were not there for you, as if they were punching into a job. They're on top of their job. Everybody's doing their job but you. Why is that? You need to start being on your job. You have one job, and if you think your job is to have a good time in Colombia, that's just frosting. That's just a cherry on top. Your actual job is to get on the plane, get off the plane, and get back on the plane safely. That's your job. So if you ain't on your job, don't be mad or upset at Colombia or Colombian women or women in DR or women in Thailand because everybody's on their job and you ain't on yours. Stop crying, stop whining, stop complaining, stop talking about these countries as if they're bad. No, the only person that's not doing what they're supposed to do is you. You're the only one that's not on their job. Everybody else is putting in overtime to be the best that they can be. She's trying to be the best scammer that she could be. The police officer is trying to ignore you as much as possible. The front desk person is telling you, I am not going to help you at all. Everybody is doing their job but you. So you got to ask yourself, why don't I look out for myself the way these police officers looking out for themselves in Colombia? Why don't I look out for myself the way this pay for play or wait for this scammer female? Because some of y'all got some scammer females that are just some regular girls. Why don't I look out for me the way that they looking out for themselves? What about the front desk dude? He looking out for himself. Why don't I look out for me? Everybody looking out for themselves but you. What are you thinking? So that's what I have to say when it comes to nothing's going to change. These red flags and white flags are going to be there. Everybody's on their job. It's time for you to get on your job too.
And to piggyback of what you said, don't expect the world to stop for you because you may have good intentions or you're going to this country with a good heart or you have the hands of donations. Don't.
Or
Do
I'm
your
an
job.
American.
Do your job. Keep your expectations aligned. Simple. Hope for the best, but expect the worst. Words from a wise man.
Be prepared. Yeah, that's correct, man.
Do your job. Like Bill Belichick said, do your
Yeah,
job.
yeah, like Bill said, do your job.
Man, Dre, we just hit we're about to hit the 2 hour 30 mark. What are your closing statements for this topic? If you could tell anybody right now, who just got their passport, anybody who's maybe looking to either move to Colombia, because I think with the way things are shaking up in DR, I've been getting like a few people hitting me up about Brazil and Colombia that are getting ready to retire or either move out there. So what are your statements? Because expats run through flags too. So what are your closing statements and just shout out your channel one more time. I know Garden Scientist put the link up. Make sure you guys subscribe to Andre Love Crossing Borders, and you also subscribe to his wife channel. Also very informative for that part of South America, Colombia. You guys will not be missing anything. Listen, do the damn consultations.
Yeah.
Do the damn consultations. It'll save your life. It'll save you time. It'll save you money. It'll bring you happiness. Good people, very good people. Yeah, we got to chop up our seal of approval. So go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, you can reach out to us, Love Crossing Borders TV, Andrea Wallace TV. We've got Mostly Money TV. I'll be launching Travel Unraveled. That's going to be our YouTube Shorts videos channel. That's going to be launching soon. So, and we got a music channel that's going to come down the turnpike as well. Do reach out to us, A Spence 2011, A Spence, SPENCE 2011. If you're interested in consultations when it comes to relocating or even just your visit to Colombia or to South America, reach out to us. We are very, very thorough And there's no wrong questions, just only bad questions or dumb questions, a question that wasn't asked. And definitely, guys, my closing remark is, I know Colombian women rank in the top 5 most beautiful women in the world. I got you. So many DR women, just Latin women in general, are some of the most beautiful women in the world. I got you, bro. I know it's the way that the dollar is compared to, some of these countries you're visiting. You get your bang for your buck and a half. I ain't mad at you. I live here. But if you are just on fun boy mode and you are not about, don't come here. Don't come here. Go somewhere else. Like Chapa said, don't come Brazil. So I ain't gonna put that out there. But go to Chile, man. Go seriously. They got some fine ones in Chile. Do not sleep on the sisters in Ecuador either. Y'all keep on sleeping on Ecuador. Y'all want to. Y'all keep on forgetting the African experience is all over this continent. If you want sisters, it is not just in Brazil and in Colombia. It's some of the most gorgeous women that you ever saw all over this continent. And I'm not talking about in bits and pieces. I'm talking about predominantly in many of these locations. There are huge Afro Peruvian in Peru, and Afro Chileans in Chile, Afro Ecuadorians, a huge population. Do not get it twisted that you thinking that if I don't go to Colombia or if I don't go to Brazil, I won't see no chocolate. Y'all got this continent twisted. That's why it's easy for me to say I know what we like as brothers for the most part. Don't come to Colombia if you just on funboy mode. This is not the time for it. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous. You guys that don't like to use common sense, you guys that don't like white flags, you guys that don't like red flags, cool, I got you. Go to another country. I didn't say don't go travel. I didn't say don't go visit. Go to another country. Be a man about yourself. Remember, your first job is to make sure that you get off a plane safely and you get back on a plane safely. And don't let your ego or your boys try to convince you otherwise. Man, I've been to Colombia 10 times. I ain't never had nothing like that. Man, you keep on listening to Love Crossing Borders. Man, I've been to Colombia 15. I don't care about all you veterans because you getting got too. They even incapacitating the locals that were born here. So if they getting the dudes in Medellin that were born here, how much more your little 10-time trip gonna mean to these women down here? They don't care nothing about you being down to Colombia 10 times. All they need you to come down is the one time that they're gonna get you. I know dudes that's been living down here 3, 4. I know one partner. He said, Dre, I've been here 6 times, 6 years. He said, now the got. My other partner just put out a video 2 weeks ago. He told me about it a month ago. He said, Dre, last night I got. He's been living here, fluent in Spanish, everything. So at the end of the day, guys, remember, go to another country. Don't come here. That's the only advice I got for you. I wish I could say something else. Don't come here.
And don't try to reinvent the wheel that we already created. Because you have the community of these YouTube channels, from Love Crossing Borders to Tailor Made to Kings and Dreams to Chop Out TV. We created the wheel. I'll say it. We created the wheel on how to drive smoothly and successfully in these other countries as a traveler and as an expat. Don't come trying to recreate your own shit. Don't cross over the yellow tape in Medellin like, yeah, I'll listen to Dre, but I'm just going to vet a little bit harder on Tinder. Or, I've been kicking it with this girl for 3 days, so on the 4th day, I'm just going to leave my cup around her because I trust her. Because we've spoken and we looked each other in the eyes after I made her orgasm. So everything is okay. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Please don't.
There's a brother that hit me up today, for example. God bless him. He said, Dre, the list that you have of those online jobs? I was like, yeah. He said, any of those for Spanish speakers? I was like, I don't think so. Why? He said, well, I've been kicking it with this chick down in Colombia, and she needs a job so bad. And man, but every time I try to show her how to do something online, she doesn't know how to do it. Plus, she doesn't really know how to work a computer that well. This and that. All these, not now. He's speaking every red flag into existence to me. She doesn't know how to use a computer. She's not fluent in anything. She has no education, so forth and so forth. No, I mean, he's just telling me all. I'm looking like very articulate brother. This is the part that gets me. Most of you dudes that get God are not the Pookies and the Ray Rays. Most of you guys that get God or get coerced or get scammed are usually some very articulate, smart, successful dudes. And I'm looking, I didn't want to bust his bubble, and I didn't. I just said, no, brother, I don't have that information. I don't think any of them are for Spanish speakers. And I was so desirous to say, bro, why are you even messing with somebody that's a bottom feeder like that? They don't have anything. And what you trying to offer them, you know that she doesn't even have the computer literacy to even do online work. So why are you asking me this? You already said she's not literate with a computer. Right.
He was gonna buy
And why are you dating somebody that's like this? And why are you dating somebody to the point where you feel comfortable to reach out to me regarding to try to rescue this person from themselves because you're trying to rescue them. But the part is, Chop, it wasn't his story. His story is the story of a lot of guys. That's why I brought the story up. It wasn't just his story. A lot of us are doing this, making the same mistake. We keep saying, stop scraping these bottom feeders. I'm going to continue to say, I don't know if I told this story. I'm going to kind of like shut it off with this last story. Colombia is like going to an apple orchard when it's time to harvest. And it's got all these apples. It's got the golden apple. It's got the Washington apple. It's got the Michigan apples. I mean, it's got every color you can imagine. Just beautiful apples on the trees. And what you guys do when you get to the apple orchard of Colombia, instead of looking up and even grabbing the low-hanging fruit, you don't even grab that. What do you do when you get to Colombia? Most of you guys, you look down on the ground. And you look on the ground when you get to Colombia and you see an apple that looks good on one side. You pick it up, you turn it around, it's got worms, it's got ants, it's got dirt and filth. And what do? You eat it. And you walk over to the next one that's on the ground that looks good on one side. You turn it around, it's got worm, it's got ants, and it's got dirt. And you eat another one. You don't even take the time to grab the low-hanging fruit in this beautiful orchard. So when you guys come to Colombia, if you're that dude and you know that you're like that, you know that you like picking up trashy chicks because they look good on one side, but they're trashy on the other, don't come to stop. I don't care if you've been here 10 times. Stop coming here. Because you're not, there's no rule to say that you're going to make it the time. You're going to make it to be here for a 15th time. You're going to make it to time 16. There's no rule just because you've been here. You guys that been here 10 times, you're the easiest lick now. Because you let your guards down, because you've been here 10. You're the newbie is not the easy lick anymore. You guys that been here the longest, that's why you're the guys that's always get got. A lot of times it's not the newbie now, it's you veterans. You're the easiest lick because you're so I know Spanish, easy lick. I've been there 10 times, easy lick. I got friends and family there, easy lick. You let all your guards down because you got friends and family here. You know a little Spanish. You know your way around the city. You're the fastest lick there is to get because you let all your little guards down because you think you know everything. I'm telling you guys.
They must have not watched your video where you said, if a girl in Colombia doesn't have a bank account, go the other way.
Right. That means she don't have no job and she never had a job. In Colombia, you have to have a bank account to have a job. They even check your credit line and they check your bank account for certain jobs like they do in the States. So if that female doesn't have a good credit line or she doesn't have any bank account, she can't get a job. You can't get a job in Colombia. When you get an under the table job, you can do that in the States. I'm talking about a real regular W-2, our version of a W-2 form, real job. You have to have a bank account because all Colombian monies go directly into your bank account, into her bank account, so they can tax her bank account. They don't tax her paycheck. They tax the bank account at the end of the year. So you must have a bank account. So if you guys are dating chicks, that's another red flag. If you dating chicks in Colombia that don't have a bank account, leave her alone. But she fine, Dre. See, that's your problem. See, you dudes are weak. You don't know how to just smash a girl twice because she fine. I got you. Get the coochie, smash her twice and move on. I'm with you. I didn't say just walk away completely from the coochie. I said smash it twice, move on. But some of you do, you smash it twice, you in love.
That hero complex.
Yeah, you always want to rescue something because they think because the Colombian dollar, the Colombian pesos are so inexpensive, I can afford to be a hero. I can afford this just $10. She only asked me for 100,000 pesos, Dre. That's only $20, dog. You tripping on $20? It ain't. This is why I hear these other lames say it ain't tricking if you got it. I say you'll never hear that in no other community but the black community. Only you Negroes came up with that "it ain't tricking if you got it" slogan. White boys ain't never said that. Asian boys ain't never say that. The Latin brothers that live down here ain't never said that. You ain't never heard no other culture say something as stupid as that. It ain't tricking if you got it. Now, one white boy is running around saying that. And if he do say it, he running around with brothers. Ain't one Asian dude, nobody from India is saying that. Nobody from Southeast Asia is saying that. Only you Cushites are saying that.
Cushite. I don't understand how they be so quick to part from the dollar. I remember I had one subscriber and he wanted me to tell his story on the channel where he was sending 30,000 pesos Dominican a month to a female that he was introduced to from a friend that he never met in person. Never met in person, never seen in person, just spoke to her, started sending her $600 a month for nothing, started putting all this responsibility in her name. And Jorge would be like, bro, you don't even know if the coochie stink.
But you know what, Chop, man? In all sincerity, from just looking at man, when you travel and do what we do, you get a chance to look at manhood and really look at it for what it is. And it's sad, man. It's a lot of lonely men in the United States. It's a lot of insecure men in the United States. It's a lot of men that are socially awkward in the United States. It's a lot of men that know how to make money, but they don't know how to have a life.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to make money. But when it comes to having a life, like picking good people to be in their lives, whether it be male or female people that they hang with, it's sad how lonely and how empty men are in our own country. We got dollars, but we some lonely mother. I swear, man. And we get to these other countries, and we let these other women just run. Oh, these little girls that under the age of 30 run over us because deep down inside we empty. We got full pockets, but we some empty dudes, man. And I'm seeing that for real from dudes in the United States quite often. UK and United States, let me put in the West. We are full in our pockets, but we are empty. Some empty dudes. And these women are taking advantage of us. We about as wooden as Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm. They take advantage of that, and these guys. This is why I preach. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with going to therapy. Ain't nothing wrong with admitting that you're
before I moved here for 2 years.
Shit, I still go.
Man, listen,
I'm happy as shit, and I still go. And the worst thing you could do is try to use somebody to fill yourself or heal yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy, Jay? The other day, so I'm talking to this girl, right? The same girl that gets me all this stuff without me asking for. Mm-hmm. So I complimented her. I was like, you know what? You're a really amazing person. You're a dope person. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm normal. And I'm like, no, I feel like you're an amazing person. You're a good person. You have a great spirit. She's like, no, honestly, what I'm doing is normal. You you're just too used to having invested your time in shitty people. What I tell you, she had me like, we are so used, us as men, to being in the wrong places that when we finally get to the right place, it feels foreign. Half of the time it takes some getting used to, but half of the time y'all run back to the wrong.
Yep. Yep.
Drake, I was like this. I was like,
I had to come to that reality. That's why I came to that reality when I sat back and I watched Andrea doing things, not for me, but for her dad and her brother. That's when I realized it was nothing special about what she was doing and nothing special about me. This is what they do in their culture. You know, we come over here and we talk about, I'm just getting over having a sore throat. That's why my throat is like this. And we come over to these countries and we talk about, man, she made a plate for me and she rubbed my back and she washed me down doing, she did this, she did that. Now I ain't gonna say, she did a lot of stuff for a dad or a brother, but what I'm saying is, or all the same things, but what I'm saying is many of the same things that we compliment these women for, or we're at awe about, they do for the men in their family. Like Andrea's uncles, she do the same. They get the same plate I get. Okay, if Andre got a male friend coming over to the house or a male friend that's at a family event, bruh, get the same plate I get. Ain't no special plate that's getting made for Andre except for maybe I get my plate first. But all the men go get a plate. All the male boys getting a plate. They've been like this Andre been like this since she was 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. So you're absolutely correct. Your girl said, I am normal. To where you like, no, girl, you special. You this. She like, no, don't get it twisted. This is our culture. But we as men have been so in the Western civilization have been so misled and not saw what real femininity in what's as far as a culture is like. It's all foreign or to us, and we make the mistake of pedestalizing it to where these women are like, any good woman would tell you, don't pedestalize what we do normally. That's a sign of a good woman, because another woman could have took that and ran with it in the wrong direction. Shout out to Kings of Dreams.
hey, my guy hopped to the street, man, Jorge will be like, I'll tell Jorge, be like, bro, that's what they're supposed to do. That's what's supposed to happen. It was so foreign to me, Jay. I want to show off a little bit. So I went back to the States in October for my daughter's birthday, and I mentioned, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be gone a few weeks, whatever, for my daughter's birthday. She was like, oh, okay. The next day she hits me up. She's like, hey, before you leave, I need to see you so I could give you something for your daughter. And I was like, what do you mean give me something for my daughter? She's like, yeah, I got her a gift because I know how special she is to you. Tell me why this woman went on my Instagram, took a picture I had with me and my daughter, got it made into a puzzle, and gave it to me.
Wow.
And was like, when you go back, put this together with your daughter.
Wow.
And I've only known this girl Dre for maybe a month or two.
I ain't mad at her.
Meanwhile, I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me start doing the math. I was in Dominican Republic living with this chick for a year, and I'm not a gift person. Gifts isn't my love language. I'm more of a time person.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, the person I was with for a year and literally financially supporting hasn't even given me this much thought or given my daughter this much thought. And fellas, I'm telling you, y'all need to start fishing in the right ponds. Start fishing in the right ponds.
She sold me on that one.
Right? Oh,
Man, that's beautiful, bro.
yeah,
I
Cakes.
know, right?
What's good, Cakes?
What's going on, man? What's going on, man? First of all, man, just shout out to you, man. Just allowing me, to be on your platform. Dre, my brother, you already know how it is. A1 day one, with your papa, A1 day one too, man. So great conversation, man. Let me jump right into it really quick, if you don't mind, your papa.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, what Dre said, a lot of men have full wallets but empty hearts. You know, that's definitely a problem, man. That's definitely a problem, and also a lot of men, going overseas looking for love, man. And I'll say this on your channel, right? So, uh, I was rocking out with a woman for about 3 years, and and like when I first met her, it was, just a hookup situation, have fun and all that. But, she made herself be uh she made herself, become like my main woman because she put herself out there. And a lot of men keep going looking for love. Stop going looking for love. Like, yes, like, if you find love, cool, but don't go there looking for it. If it comes to you, cool. But a lot of men make that mistake.
Yep. And I'm glad you brought that point up because Dre said this earlier in the live. He's like the motivation for most of you guys going to Colombia, Medellin to be exact, isn't for the food, isn't for the culture, isn't for the weather. It's for the women. So when your motivations are wrong or when your reasons are aligned, it's natural, the natural order of things that you're gonna get messed up results.
I
So
agree.
so
I agree.
Kings, I wanted to ask you what are some red flags you feel that people ignore when they're traveling?
Um, red flags is ignoring the attractionness. And what I mean by that is like she's so beautiful and you are not seeing like this woman could be I don't want to swear, but this woman could be a piece of what. Just because she's beautiful doesn't mean like she's not she's bad, but she's bad quality. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men ignore that. They are not used to being around a lot of attractive women. That's what I have learned. A lot of men are not really used to being around a lot of attractive women. And it's like, oh man, she's so beautiful and this, that, and the third. And it's like, all right, yeah, she's a bad bee. Yeah, she is a bad bee. You know what I mean? She's bad for business. And so that is one red flag. The second red flag is that um is not really understanding the culture, or at least wanting to learn the culture.
Mm,
Don't travel overseas and don't try to at least learn a little bit of the culture.
mm. That's that, and I think that goes under the ignorance of what Dre was saying. I got 5,000. I got 5 days. Just trying to
Right.
pay your way through everything.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure Dre, I mean, I talk to Dre all the time, so I'm sure, Dre just listening to me because he already knows. These are things that that we've talked about, man. But yeah, absolutely. You got $5,000 and you got 5,000 ideas, but zero equity in reality. That's the problem.
Preach.
And that's a great point you mentioned before with the bad women bringing bad problems. You know,
Right.
Jorge will say, for those of them out there in DR, because in DR they love that. They love the big booty, small waistline, the hair, the breast, the nails is done every Saturday. But if you want to drive a Benz, understand driving a Benz comes with paying Benz maintenance. You
Right,
can't you can't take your 2022 S class to Chico on the corner. You got to take
right.
that to an authorized Benz dealership and pay that bread. So having bad chicks on your roster or as your main or whatever it is you want to do comes with a lot of headaches, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I did a consultation 3 days ago, and the young brother, like he, sent me a picture of this woman he was talking to, beautiful, extremely attractive woman, you know. But I said, like, and he's trying to, take her seriously, and he's trying to relocate to Medellin. And I said, okay, well, do you know what she does? What about her family? He couldn't say anything because he didn't even know. And this is a handsome young man, but it's like a lot of men don't do their homework.
Mm.
Dre, you know what's crazy? Before he got on, Dre was just giving a story about that.
Yeah, it reminded me of the same story. Yeah, of a dude trying to prop up a woman because she's beautiful, but all the signs are there that you're not doing the right homework. You're not taking the proper steps.
Yeah,
It's
man, don't play around with Medellin, because man, those red flags will leave you yellow taped. And I mean that. I really mean that.
bars.
Right?
I use that one.
Right? That's a good one, case, because beauty does not always mean value.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like,
And
I come from a promoter background, right? And I'm used to, and I know a lot of men are not used to this, but I'm used to being around a lot of attractive women, right? So like, one thing that resonates with me, and I've told Andre this, offline, and I'll say this online. Andre has said this, like, a lot of guys are not used to telling a pretty woman no.
mm,
you know, I'm used to that. So when he says that, I'm like, man, I feel that in my soul, because I know exactly what he means.
Yeah,
mm. What you got, Dre?
and he's correct, because and me and Jay talk about this all the time. So the Kings, we talk about this all the time. That
Yeah, you call me Jay. It's cool.
I mean, the only reason I changed it because the audience don't know you as Jay.
Oh
They may
yeah,
not.
no,
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
and so when it comes to saying no, I think that no is one of the most, in Colombia, it's one of the most life-saving weapons that you could have. A lot of guys don't know how to come down here to Colombia or to DR or to Brazil and say no to women. She's
Right,
so fine, her hips, that behind. My boys will look at me like I'm a fool if I tell this one no. My ego, my manhood. I gotta say yes to this. I gotta at least say yes one night, and all it takes is one night, and you get got.
right,
That's the part. And you know what probably frustrates me the most, guys, with guys that come to South America. I'm gonna tell you something. The fact that beauty is in such abundance here, that if you say no to one, you can literally turn around and there's three that look better than her right next to you. That probably blows me away more than any. I could see if it was like the States, where you see one attractive one, and you might not see somebody that fine for a couple of days. You see
right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
She's still lingering on your mind. That's how fine she was.
right.
But it
Yeah,
ain't like
no,
that here. You know,
Absolutely, absolutely, and shout out to you, Chapapa, and Big Brother Dre. I do got to drop, but I will say this. Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me on your platform. But yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of what Dre said, like a lot of guys don't realize, like you can tell that beautiful woman no, and there's another beautiful woman like right down the block. Not even right down the block, right next door. A lot of men are afraid to have an abundance mindset. That's why they got a pocket full of $5,000, but they got empty hearts because they don't know how to have an abundance mindset.
They don't know their value.
No, they don't. They don't. They don't know their value. This is
You
why I talk about what I talk about, man, because I'm passionate about what I believe in. Because men have been underestimating their value. Well, men of quality, that is, have been underestimating their value. Dre has a joke. Medellin is not Colombia. And I laugh and all that. But the thing is, like the brother that passed away, may rest in peace. But this was a man of quality. This was a man of quality. Just graduated, summa cum laude,
hmm
all of this. Not having the abundance mindset.
and we was just talking about this right before you hopped on. Just that mentality, that lack of security that has come with living in the Western civilization, that has come with being in the matrix, where you have to question yourself: what is a man? What does a man deserve?
Right.
Leaving the matrix will help you value yourself, but you're gonna have to want to get there also.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you're gonna have to do the work. You're
Yeah.
gonna have
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and stop going for these chicks where their beauty is their resume.
Say
Their
that.
their beauty is their job. You're like, hey, what do you do for a living? Nothing. I wake
I'm
up, I post
beautiful.
a picture, I get 40 DMs, I get my messages. I had this one chick in the Dominican Republic write me. She's like, "Hey, I need $100,"
Mm.
and I'm like, "You're out your damn mind." And she's like, "You know what? On all of my WhatsApp, you're the most stingiest American I have. Anybody else can send me money, but when it comes to you, you never send me anything." And
Y-
I took pride in that. I took a lot of pride. I was like, "Well, thank you, thank you
yeah.
so
Yeah.
much."
Yeah. Because
But
man,
yeah,
listen. Because man, listen. The thing is, man. The thing is that we as men, we devalue ourselves so much, and it's it's embarrassing, man. It is.
It
It is
really is.
embarrassing, man.
It
We
really is.
like the woman is supposed to be beautiful. She's supposed to be pretty. She's supposed to be attractive. Oh my God, she looks good. She's a 9 or a 10. She look like Beyonce, whatever the case is. She's supposed to look beautiful. Hey, am I the best looking dude in the world? No, but the thing about it is, yeah, man, listen, my mouthpiece is strong, and I'm just very confident in myself. Sometimes arrogant, but it's okay, cool. But I know I have no problem telling a beautiful woman no. I work hard for this. I work
hmm
hard to be where I'm at, and I'm working hard to get where I'm going to go. And I know that I have quality about myself. A lot of men need to realize that, and they don't.
and that's what makes you a high value target when you move to these countries.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I don't call myself high value, but other men, have, and I appreciate that, man. Thank you. But
Nah,
I do
brother.
got to drop off. So I'm gonna be driving, and my background's gonna be noisy. So,
Thanks for popping in. We're definitely gonna do another live when you're more free. I know you have some dates going on, but links right there. Make sure you guys subscribe to Kings and Dreams channel. He had a very, very dope live the other night with 3 ladies. Make sure you guys show some love also along with Dre's channel. So Kings, thank you, bro. I appreciate that for stopping by.
man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man. And that thumbnail is fire, man, by the way. But thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.
that's thumbnail maestro right there.
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking of thumbnails, I gotta give Dre a shout really quick. Dre hooked me up with a thumbnail, man. I got a smoke show, man. Winter is coming, man. December 1st. Everybody better buckle their seatbelts. It's gonna be a different Kings and Dreams on that one, man.
Oh boy.
There we go.
All right, let's get it. I'll bring.
Oh yeah, that temperature is gonna be different, man.
I'll bring something nice. Yeah, guys. So don't forget, Dre does consultations for YouTube also. But I think I might just low key start hitting up Dre to do some thumbnails. Send him a little something.
Gotta be out of game, man.
Yeah, no, he cold with it. He cold with it, man. I sent them one. And he completely flipped it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take this one, man. But
I was like, oh, okay, that's how we move it. All right, man.
Right. I was like, oh, word, okay, cool. No, man. All right. Let me get out of here, man. But thank you, fellas, man. I appreciate you. Stay humbled and blessed. Follow me, Kings and Dreams, KING, the letter Z, and Dreams with a Z. Follow me on YouTube and Instagram. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and stay purposely purposeful. And I'm out of here. Salute.
All right, drive safe. That was Kings and Dreams. Good to make you guys check out his channel. All things Medellin, flowing in and out.
Oh yeah,
very cool guy. Drop some bars for you. But listen, y'all. I want to say, if you have the means to get up, leave the matrix, and go live in one of these countries, you're automatically a high value target. Stop putting them discount Black Friday stickers on yourself, because you need to know that you deserve the best. What you bring to the table, not just financially, but mentally, spiritually, you got to get there. But start moving like you're high value, and you would attract high value. Put out what you want to receive. Simple. Law of attraction.
True.
Law of attraction. Shout out to Garden Scientist, my moderator. He's been, putting in work time. I appreciate you guys. It's 2:17 a.m. in Brazil right now. I'm gonna have to get up in a few hours, just at the 3 hour mark. But Dre, brother, thank you for taking over the channel last month. Really appreciate it.
That was fun.
Great stream. Thank you for tonight. I know it's been a minute since you and I spoke on the channel, but really appreciate your time, brother. Really appreciate you for showing up. Much love. I don't know when you're coming to Brazil, but listen, when you're here, we're definitely gonna get together.
Cool. Oh yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, bro. So stay back, stay real quick. Thank you everybody who's been a part of this stream. If you're late, you got some jewels, put it on in the car, put it on while you're walking the treadmill, walking the dog, while you're in the Airbnbs and you got that thing next to you, you can give it a side eye, tell her that I gave you permission to give you the side eye, give her the side eye, just be like, hey, I'm taking notes. We can't see each other anymore. I don't want to be yellow taped. I don't want to ignore the red flags. Stop ignoring the red flags. Stop trying to recreate the wheel. This has been Chop Up Our TV, and we are out of here. Remember what I say? Life is your beach. Go find it.